This video is a complete guide talking about everything you need to know to dominate in college football 25. We're going to start off with offense, go to defense, go to the best types of offenses to run, and then talk about how to actually set our depth chart. You want to win more games? Let's get into it. So everything we're doing here is going to be based out of the Oregon playbook. This could be any playbook that you want, but I'm going to be in Oregon today. And what I'm always looking for when we're first trying to choose a formation is something that gives me a few quality of life things, okay? So I'm looking for some options first and foremost. You guys know how good read options and speed options are in this game. You see right here immediately, we have a gun trips read option. And then we have a gun trips speed option. And then we have a QB slot option, which is those two things combined. That has potential to make our lives way, way, way easier. But that's not all. A lot of formations have, different option things. The next thing I'm kind of looking for as well is RPOs. This right here has an RPO read bubble. That's going to be super nice. Along with that, we're going to also find that it has a RPO zone alert slot screen. I don't know how well that's going to be, but just having two different RPO options here is going to be nice. And then just by eyeballing the different routes that we have, right, it looks like we have pretty much everything we could possibly want. We have over routes, deep post, deep corners, comeback zigs, overs, deep corners, C routes. So yeah, a lot of formations you'll find, look at something like double stack. You're just really limited on the route tree sometimes here, right? We go to bunch quads offset. It's like we got a few things, but nothing too crazy. Whereas it looks like inside of trips, again, just as a starting point, we're going to have access to a lot of things that would give us, one, some easy, quality of life stuff with the different options and RPOs. And then with the different routes we can build or we have access to, along with the hot routing system that's in the game, we should be able to pretty much do whatever we want in the passing game. So we have more videos going in depth on this topic, but I want to give a quick 60-second rundown of passing 101. So start the timer. First and foremost, what we want to do is go into our settings right here and then choose a passing type. If you're newer to passing, choose revamped. Or if you're more of an elite player, choose placement and accuracy, okay? Next, when we pass the ball, we're going to use the left stick to pass lead. We want to push the left stick in the direction that only our receiver can make the catch on the ball and to get away from the defense. So just put it in a spot where only he can get it, all right? There's three different types of passes. If we just tap the icon, we can lob it up. Right there, we actually overthrow it. But if we just tap it, it's a lob. If we hold it for just a little bit more, it's going to be a touch pass. Or if we hold it all the way down, we can get a full bullet pass. And then with that, there's three different catch types, okay? If we go to catch the ball and we hold X or square on PlayStation, we will do a rack catch. That's run after the catch. If we hold A or X on PlayStation, that's going to be a possession catch. All right, that's going to get down, avoid contact. Or if we hold Y or triangle, that is going to be an aggressive catch, which is going to have your receiver go up and try to snag and attack the ball. I think the timer's done. If you've gotten value from this video so far, consider doing me a massive favor and hit the subscribe button. It's 100% free, and we're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel, so you'd be doing me a massive favor. Again, only if you've got any kind of value from this video or from our channel. Next up is rushing 101, and this is a big deal because there's a massive, massive, massive skill gap here. Let's start the timer, 60 seconds on the clock. First and foremost, what we can't do is hold right trigger or R2 the entire time, okay? We need to wait until we hit an open lane to hold R2 or right trigger because this is going to trigger sheds faster like it did right there, and it's going to limit our mobility. So not holding it. Right there, we just got blown up. That's fine. Don't care. Let's go again. Not holding it. Now I'm holding it because I see that opening I want to hit. Then we want to try utilizing ball carrier moves. I love B or circle, which is going to be the spin move. And I also love juking with the right stick, left or right. Usually, I will try to hold right trigger while doing this, but not always. It can kind of depend a little bit. Let's see if we get a good example of it. We got one, I think, on our first clip. We go, boom. Good spin move right there. We run into a defender. We're able to spin. Wasn't the sexiest, didn't look the cleanest, but it was still pretty good. Big thing a lot of people try doing is doing just too much. Make sure we take the yards that are available to us. And also, though, as I say that, you have the ability to cut things back, too. That's all left stick until I hold turbo there at the end as I hit that open lane. The option can be one of the most explosive things in this game and an absolute... Wow, that was a huge hit. One of the most explosive things in this game, though. Let's put a timer on the play clock. Let's go. Boom. Here we go. You see this R icon. That's for read options, okay? I'm currently running a triple option, which is a read option and a speed option together. If this guy crashes down, we're going to hold A or X to pull the ball and keep it. He did, so we're going to do that. Next up, is we're going to tap LB to pitch the ball if they come on me. If they don't, we'll hold on to it. See right here, we're going to hold A or X, and you see they go to tackle the quarterback. So we are going to pitch the ball out to our pitch key, okay? This is the same idea as if you're running a speed option. We're just doing it from a triple option. Now, right there, I actually made the wrong read. I should have actually held that or let the handoff go right there. See what we can do here. Boom. We're good. And they keep on playing it pretty much the same way, but you will be wanting to make this read. If I wanted to hand the ball off right here, you can see I'll just do it right here no matter what. Boom. And that'd just be touching nothing. And then we'd go into our normal, oh my goodness. We'd go into our normal cadence with our run game stuff, right? And then right here, if we want to pull it, you don't have to pitch it, right? If they're crashing in on you, you will pitch it, but there could be a time where you don't. And then just tapping LB, that's going to be a pitch. You could hold LB instead of tapping it. That'll be a slow pitch. I just prefer not to. It's a little bit longer, but it will be a little bit more accurate. We will over the timer, but that's okay. That's option game 101. Now, when it comes to beating zone coverage, people are always super fixated on, oh my gosh, how do you beat cover 2? And then how do you beat cover 3? And how do you beat cover 4? They're super wrong. I do not care. Beating zone is beating zone. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean here. Let's go into the gun trips that we're working out of, and we'll go to a play called PA read, all right? Now here, I'm going to first select cover 3 match. I am just going to be running regular cover 3 out of it, though. And then, on the right side, we're going to create a flood concept. So we're going to have a deep streak on our right side. He's behind this little panel right here. Then we're going to have a zig route and a corner route. This is going to create a high-low on the sideline, which is going to force whatever sideline defenders over there to choose, okay? So right here, this is against cover 3. Notice how we have somebody open. Now, I missed I just pushed the throw a little bit far outside. That's okay, right? We have somebody open. That's all that really matters. We'll do it again against cover 3. Let's see. Boom. There we go. Pretty easy. You might be saying, okay, Civil, it beats cover 3, but how would it beat cover 2? Okay. Well, the same concept applies. We have a high-low concept happening here on the right side. So, how many flat zones do they have right here? They have one flat zone, right? Just a cloud flat. So whatever person he does not go to, we just throw it to him, right? Now, this isn't to say that I don't care about, like, oh, if they're in cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. But this is to say that people try making this way too complicated when this idea is way simpler than everybody, like, pretends it to be. And I'm saying this from passing the ball at a very high level and winning tens of thousands of dollars at the professional level, throwing the ball every single play. Like this is just my thoughts on it, right? So cover 2 we've been able to beat. Let's go cover 3. And you can see why I actually get really mad at some of the different like throwing things in this game, because we're throwing a lot of reds right now, and it's like we just shouldn't be. Mind you, there is skill gap to bluing passes, but nonetheless, it's very, very dumb. Right? Okay, Civil, it's beating cover 2 and cover 3, but what about cover 4 zone? Okay. Well, I mean, how many flat defenders are there? 1? I guess same idea then, yeah? We're just going to choose whoever that flat defender doesn't, right? We're just going to split the field in half, go high-low on the right side, and if neither of them are open, we have a backside route we can hit then, right? So you split the field in half, and you have some kind of backside concept you're going to work with, all right? Now, same idea right here. We can also do this with a comeback and an in route, all right? Feel free to steal this concept in whatever offense you're doing. Now, here on the left side, we have an in route and we have a comeback. Regardless of whatever coverage they're in, do I even care? Or am I more so just reading who's getting open, right? Right here? Oh, okay, we have the comeback route. Cool. I guess they're in cover 3, right? Let's go cover 2. I more so want you guys focused on reading open spaces than trying to always identify what coverage they're in pre-snap. I think a lot of people lose games because they can't identify it correctly, they're wrong, and then it's just yada, yada, yada. They can never recover from that. Instead, let's call good plays that are going to give us a lot of options against a lot of different zone coverages, all right? So that's a little concept right there where we have the flood concept to the right side of the field, right? And you can steal this from any formation can do this. And then we have a little backside in-route comeback on the left. And to show this again, let's go corner route. Now, you could probably stem that corner route down. He doesn't need to be that deep, but he just is on display. So what's another play that we could do that's going to beat zone coverage at a high clip? Well, this is going to be, and actually, I'd like feedback from somebody like in the comment section. I don't know if this would be better called a levels concept or maybe a trail. I don't know. So we'll see. But this idea right here is really, really simple, where we're going to go crosser on the inside and then in route on the outside. And now we're going to push the field in the deep middle. This guy's in the short middle. And then we're also going to be able to attack the sideline with these two routes too. And the same thing, right? We're just reading open spaces, right? We know where our players are attacking. So I'm first looking underneath, and then I'm working my eyes up. All right? Very, very simple. Very, 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 very simple. And I don't care if they're in cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, whatever, right? We can tweak this route combo as needed if we want. But, if I go cover 2 right here, this route combo can still beat cover 2, right? Like, it just can, right? We had B for a second. We have B now. We have the crosser getting open late. And a big piece of advice that I can give you here is if they're not sending pressure, like right now, obviously, we haven't sent pressure. We're just going up against a 4-man rush. What I should do is try to get my halfback involved somehow. So either get him on an in route, right? You could put him on an out. Just get him. There's no reason to have him blocking. So just have an extra option. Now, I guess that is the potential downside. If they get a quick shed, you don't have your halfback in anymore. But I like to try to have my halfback in the passing game a little bit, just because being able to 5 out really gives you some good options. Okay. So again, this concept right here, pretty basic. We're going in route, flat route, crosser, do whatever with your halfback, sort of. And then you just need a clear out on this left side. Seriously, look at this route combo, screenshot it. This can be one of the better zone beating plays you can have, or variations of this, because I haven't even thrown that crosser yet this entire time. Oh my gosh. And we're able to hit that crosser right there for a pretty big gain. Okay. Last play, I guess. And this is not even supposed to be here, but we'll do it. Steal this concept. A little flat on the right side. We have a clear out streak, slant, and then wheel. Boom. Throw a wheel. Super sexy. And I had the out route. Just a little tidbit. And again, I don't care if it's cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. Pre-snap, I'm going to tell you what I do. So before we get into how I beat man coverage, I want to talk about what you should be doing pre-snap, because everyone right here is trying to say, like, oh, we're looking for this, that, and that, and how many safeties, and where the safety rotating. Pre-snap, I'm looking at 2 things. I'm trying to identify 2 things. Do I think blitz or no blitz? And then do I think man or zone? Okay? That's the bare minimum. Now, is there more to it? Of course. But at the very basic level, that is it. And the way I determine blitz or no blitz is based off, 1, my opponent's tendencies. So right there, I'm saying, okay, maybe he will blitz. And then 2, just the front that my opponent is in. And so what I mean by that is, look what he's in right now. He has 4 down linemen, and then he has a linebacker who's on top of the left tackle, 5 yards off. I don't think they're blitzing right here. And guess what? If they do blitz, who cares? And actually, they blitz on the outside. And literally, who cares? Because the dude who blitzed was 15 yards off the ball. I don't even care, right? It's like, okay, cool. Like, I was wrong, I guess. Good job. The blitz sucked anyways. Right here. Do you think blitz or no blitz? Even if they blitz that middle backer right there, they're only sending 5, so who cares, right? I'm going to pick this up. They blitz the outside guy again, or the slot corner again. I don't care, dude. I'm not even looking at, like, that guy takes so long to get in. Who even cares? Now, the next thing I'm thinking about is man or zone, okay? So we're going blitz, no blitz. Right here, I'm saying no blitz probably. The line of scrimmage is not very stacked. And then I'm saying man coverage here because all my receivers are directly covered. Now, there's some stuff you can do with motion that could help you. Like right here, you see how this guy follows me in motion. So like right there, that also tells me man. I don't do that too much. I usually will just use alignment plus what my opponent has done to help me identify if I think it's going to be man or zone. But I could definitely probably get better at that aspect, to be honest with you. Right here, I'm thinking zone because the DBs they're covering my wide receivers, but they're off some. So I'm thinking it's going to be zone. And then blitz or no blitz. What do you think right here? Look at this. Do you think they're blitzing? I say no because maybe this guy's blitzing and this guy's going to take 5 seconds to hit me. Same with this guy. Like, if he blitzes, he takes 5 seconds. Let's see. Yeah, they are in zone as well. Okay. Boom. Here we go. And now we just run a good zone. Oh, I didn't set up my play. My fault. I forgot the clear out route on the zone beater. Now, right here, I actually think it's going to be man, just the way these DBs are kind of lined up. Let me see if I'm right. I am. It was off man. And I mean, I think they blitzed, but I don't even know. Like, I don't even think I care. Now, a good example when I would say blitz and I'm scared is like something like this. Like, boom. You know, like a front like this, right? Where they're nice. This guy's just being kind of an idiot. But, you know, where the box is kind of stacked. They got a lot of guys on the line of scrimmage. Now I'm saying, oh, they might blitz me. So here, I'm setting up pass pro. I'm changing my reads to look a little bit quicker, right? I might be like having a flat on the field that I wouldn't usually have, something like that, in case they do blitz. And then if they don't, I just have to identify that, right? A lot of our work happens during the actual snap of the ball and reading those open spaces and identify what my opponent's doing. Look right here. I'm thinking he might blitz me. He has 2 backers in the A gap, and then he's bringing this guy, and he's going down here. I'm saying, oh, this might be a blitz. So one way I would attack this, and we have some more stuff coming up later, is maybe a quick flat or something. That is what we're doing pre-snap, though. I'm not so much trying to identify this looks like cover 6. That stuff never works at a high level against good opponents. All right, how to beat man coverage. There's a lot of things that go into this, but honestly, beating man is not that complicated. A lot of people try to make it way too complicated. So, first and foremost, we want to find routes that have cuts in them, okay? So, all 3 of these routes on the right side all have cuts in them. This guy on the outside, you can't really see his route too well. Now you can, kind of. Cut. Big post has a cut. And then crosser has cuts in it as well. It's going to get open. All right? Every man-beating route has a probability that it'll beat man coverage, which also means it has a probability that it won't beat man coverage. So that's why we need not just 1 good man-beater on a play, not just 2, but ideally 3 or more when we're trying to beat man coverage, okay? So a play I like is something like this. You could hot route this style of play pretty well as well. Zig, crosser, outside post, and then we have a streak on the left side. The reason I like streaks against man is that if they try pressing you and they don't have help over top, that is a 1-play touchdown. Really good against cover 0, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, let's say, man, we keep on throwing this. Well, we actually didn't get it right there. Let's say, though, zig routes are a big one that people love throwing against man, right? Everyone loves zigs against man. But if it gets bagged, we have to recognize if it gets bagged, okay? Right there, it's open. But the play before it was bagged, that's when we got to go to our next reads, all right? The next thing I love to get against man coverage is our halfback involved. He is going to usually be very good at beating man and then getting really good rack, okay? He's massive for getting rack. So we go again right here. Oh, what's that? You don't have safety help over top. We lob it up. Touchdown. See what I'm saying? It doesn't take a bunch to beat man coverage. We just need some simple stuff. Now, if we want to take this a step further, let's go comeback route on the outside. So now we're going to run a concept like this. Feel free to screenshot this. I know I'm going kind of fast. There's a lot that we're trying to cover here, so I do apologize. Feel free to rewatch. We go something like this. Hut. Boom, similar play. Bagged. Oh, but you know what we actually have? Oh, no. Damn, that was actually... I anticipated. That's the probability right there. Comebacks do a great job against man, but they're still probability-based too. Like, seriously, they are. Let's go again. Dang, we got hit as we threw right there. My comeback's getting pressed into the dirt. Unfortunate. That's why also just take the open read when you have it. This A route is cooking, man. Oh, we got him up top. Dang. Right there, we're not able to, but still a safe throw. Go back here. Halfback in route. We had X for a tutty. Dang. That's really why, though. If I'm someone's playing man coverage, I want streaks on my field. This is the play Z-Fin, or Verts Z-Fin. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, halfback routes are killer, dude. Any routes that have, like, cuts in them, really, really good. We'll go A. Just really important. Don't make blind reads with man coverage. Identify it pre-snap. Have your man beaters, and then you have to read them. They are not guaranteed to get open every time. Right here, I feel like my halfback or something got super bumped. Right there, all of my man beaters just lost. Even though they've won numerous times we've watched. It just happens. Like, that's literally just the probability game of man coverage. It's why a lot of people don't love man coverage being ran. Because it's just, like, very random, right? Shading and stuff like that can also play a factor into it. But it all still does come down to a probability game. Which is why you want numerous man beaters on the field at any given time. Especially when you're trying to beat man. Go boom. A. We got hit as we throw. I gotta go one more. I got one more right here. Boom. Bang. Beautiful. Now, playing against a good blitz can be very, very tough at times. You've probably played against something where it seems like you're just getting sacked over and over and over again. So I just want to share with you a few things that have helped me personally out when I've gone up against really good blitzes in competitive play. Okay? So first and foremost, the easiest rule of thumb when it comes to blocking is that you want to count how many people have they been blitzing. So in this case, let's say they're blitzing 6. Now, you can block this with 6 blockers. So you could block your halfback and then find a slide or find an ID that blocks this, right? You absolutely could. And for mid blitz specifically here, you definitely could. But that's a general rule. But if you can't, let's say you're in the middle of a high stakes game, you need to win, whatever it is, and you can't, block +1. Okay, so what that means, if they're sending 6, block 7, right? That's not the most ideal thing, but it is a fallback if they have just a good blitz that we can't pick up. Okay, it's something that I've used a ton. And now the reason I don't want to go super deep down the rabbit hole of pass protections, and this is something where someone like Brett Coleman did a really cool video talking about how the half slides and full slides and whatnot translate from real life into the game. He says this in his video, and this has been true for the past 5 or 6 years, and it just is a fact of matter. Pass protection in the video game is inconsistent as heck, and it a lot of times just ends up doing funky stuff against the meta blitzes and doesn't make complete sense, okay? So you can find your formulas. I really like full sliding away from my halfback and then having my halfback pick up on his side, something like that right there, as the guy just comes free off the edge, though. Like, I really like that, but it's a whole rabbit hole, and it's just a fact of the matter is that real-life blocking principles don't always apply in-game. So keep that in mind. So we could do the +1 method, all right? The other one that I really, really like is to try to find a run that does a good job against the blitz. A lot of times, blitzes leave themselves susceptible to the run game, and a good example right here on the gun trips is the QB slot option, because we do something like this, boom, I should have pitched it sooner. And we're able to potentially get out right there, right? I actually thought he was going to play the running back, or the pitch key, but whatever. Boom. Right, we go here, we pitch it, and now we're able to get a huge gain, so we don't even have to play the blitz. That is something where I think if you just use the +1 method, and you just use the idea of trying to find runs that can really exploit these options, or these blitzes, it's going to make beating them much, much, much easier. And it could be something as simple as an inside zone, a read option. I really like the triple options here and the touch passes. I think those do a great job just because they're able to get numbers on you. Because look, like this guy on the right, he's not getting blocked, so who cares? Then we're not blocking this guy either, so who cares? And we're able to get really, really big play potential here and totally get them out of this defense. And once they get out of the blitzing defense, we're able to pass the ball on them again. All right, there's a very basic idea of just 2 quick strategies that you can use. And then you can try hurdling somebody like that right there and then get hit. But yeah, 2 easy ways I like to do to beat the blitz. +1 method, and then also trying to find good runs and passes. Also, though, if you use the +1 method, you got to set up a good pass play around it, right? Whether it's man or zone. We identify blitz or no blitz, but then it's man or zone and putting a good route combo to beat that. Now, for actual play calls inside of your scheme, I always have something called power plays. These are plays I can go to against the majority of defenses and feel really confident in my ability to complete it. Here in gun trips, we're going to go into the verts Z fin. I'll show you what an example of a power play here would be, as I'm actually just going to zig RB and then in route my halfback. Now, the reason I consider this a power play is because this can cook zone and it can cook man coverage. So regardless of what they're in, we actually have high potential to beat anything. That's a major deal. That takes a lot of stress off of me as the user pre-snap, and I just have to say, okay, let's just call the play. Then we just gotta make the reads, right? So right there, we go zone coverage, boom. Now your power play should be able to beat pretty much if you call random play in the CPU in practice mode, your power play should be able to beat that, right? You should always have something open. Now, it might be on you to make the read, but you should always, always, always have something that's available, something that's open, right? And we've actually hit 4 different receivers so far in like 6 plays. So this would be an example of a power play. This is massive. Every scheme I've ever ran has power plays, right? Let's see. A couple of yards right there. That was man covers. That was like a cover. Was that any blitz? I don't even know. We have underneath. I'm not going to throw underneath. I'll actually throw the post. And that's where it's really, really nice. When you're able to see someone open and say, I know I'm going to get somebody else open. That is a great example of a really, really good power play. And it's something that not enough people have. And something you gotta practice with. Like, you have to really test it out. It takes some time to be able to identify what these plays can be. But when you get them, oh my goodness, I mean, it makes your life 10 times easier. You see, we've completed every pass. The only receiver we haven't hit yet is our streak down the left sideline, which I'll see if I can throw it up one time. No, don't give me the red. Oh my gosh, dude. Power plays, very, very important. And then you also have some flexibility on these power plays too. I want to really point out that it doesn't always have to be exactly this, right? I've been doing this play right here a lot. We could do, we could block our halfback, right? I could drag him and I don't know, put him out of Texas or something. like, we have some flexibility here. I don't want you guys to be, like, pigeonholed into only calling exactly that play, but it is important. Blue pass? Dang. It is important that, like, you understand that if you have these power plays, they are powerful. Like, that's why I call them power plays. Wow, that just got swatted by a blitzer. That's nuts. Let's go again. We have Y. Not gonna throw it. We'll throw it. Okay, we'll throw it late. All right, moving on to constraint plays. Now, constraint plays are something that are going to make the game really easy on us, right? Power plays still require us to make the correct reads. Constraint plays are usually going to be RPOs, like the RPO read bubble, or in this case, it's going to be an option like the QB slot option that really makes the game much simpler on us, is able to pick up easy yards for us, and that we can just use to beat the majority of defenses for easy yards. This isn't always a big hitter, but it is something that they have to respect and put out defense for, okay? So we go again right here. And we've ran this enough just in this video where you get to see what that kind of constraint play looks like, where they have to set up very specific defense for this. Another example might be the RPO read bubble right here. And this one's actually just an RPO bubble. It's not an RPO read bubble. But we go here, and then, you know, let's see how good this actually is. This could end up sucking, which is why we want to do practice mode. Let's go here. Oh, no, it looks like it might be decent. So this would be another example of a constraint play. It also could just be an inside zone, right? It could just be a read option. It could just be the speed option. Just something that's going to make the game easy on yourself. And you can basically just close your eyes, right? Speed option example, read options. Jet touch passes are a really good example of these kind of constraint plays. Boom. So that's where you'd want to go with the long pitch. We're getting kind of bad pitch animations right here. Let's see what we can do here. And also just like labbing and testing. Like, I actually hate this way more than I thought I would. I think I would just keep on doing the slot option instead. And then maybe I also call inside zone as well. And those are my two constraint plays, right? And that's just testing and kind of seeing what's going on, right? Or maybe I just keep on going only slot option out of this game. I don't know. But the constraint play is massive. And pair that with your power play, you get a few of each. You have a whole mini scheme inside of one formation. Now that you have what you need to be able to play offense at an elite level, next we need to talk about everything you need to know about defense. Start at the very beginning, work our way into some pretty advanced concepts here. This is gonna help you lock down anybody you play against. So before we even choose a defense, we need to actually go into our coach adjustments because this is absolutely huge. So we're going to click the right stick in, and I'm going to give myself 60 seconds to get through all of this stuff. Make sure you feel free to rewind or pause this at any point. 60 seconds starts right now. Auto flip defensive play call. We want to have this on. This is going to make sure the strength of our defense matches the strength of the offense. So if they're strong right, we're going to be strong right as well. Cornerback matchups, we're going to leave this at balanced because honestly, these other ones are all just kind of bugged. If you mess with them, you'll see some very weird alignment things happen. Leave it at balance. You're not going to lose anything by having it at balance. Defensive motion response, we're going to have this at default. That's going to make sure when they motion, we are going to move with them and not get out leveraged. Option defense read key is going to be conservative. When they run read options, I personally want my players to play the quarterback and let them hand it off into the teeth of the defense. If you wanted that reverse, though, and you wanted the quarterback to be the one who can keep it, put it on aggressive. Now, for option defense pitch key, running low on time, I want this on conservative because these are flipped. And focus on QB on the option actually means focus on the running back on the option for this. And that's what I want. Strip ball bounce, tackling bounce, zone drops default, curl flats 25, hooks to default. This is my base, but all three of these are subject to change based on the coverage we're running. Timer's pretty much up. So when choosing a defensive formation, a lot of people are going to try telling you that you need to match personnel, right? If they go heavy, we got to go into a heavy set. And if they go light, we got to spread ourselves thin and also go light. That is not true in video game football. And I'm telling you that not as like a, oh, whatever. Like, I've played competitive Madden for 5-6 years now. I've been a top ranked player every single year. I've won tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm telling you, in video game football, we can defend 5 wide from 3-4, and we can defend I-form tight from 3-2-6 or 2-3-6, whatever. Like, we can do both of those things. So what we want to instead look for in a defensive formation is something that can do everything for us, right? Something that can defend the run, that can play good coverage and give us all the coverage options we need, and also has a solid blitz out of it, okay? I think a really good starting point is nickel. And especially, it's nice also for the personnel people because nickel's usually used as a base defense for a lot of teams anyways. So there you go. But I think nickel's a great starting point because usually these have decent blitzes. They have good run defense and you're able to do a lot of coverage stuff out of them. So we're going to start with a nickel 3-3 over. Although in your playbook, it might be something different. I just think this is a great starting point. Nickel something. All right. So with that being said, now we have an idea of what formation we want to choose. What plays do we want to call? I think the best starting point for play call is one of these three, and they're all very basic zone coverages. I'll explain why. First is Tampa 2. This is just going to be a cover 2 based defense. The next one is actually going to be cover 3. Now this will be called cover 3 sky. Every playbook has this. Every formation has this. And then the last one is going to be cover 4 quarters, but it's going to be cover 4 quarters as drop coverage, not match coverage. And I'll explain why here. So when it comes to choosing coverages, especially at a starting out point, what I think people will do a way better job with is when they have a good understanding of where all of their players are playing. And the issue with something like match coverage in College Football 25 or in Madden is that match, truthfully, one, is very complex on a real life level, right? If you're a coach, if you're somebody who knows real life ball, you know match is very complex. Like it can get into a lot of different intricate rules that are very hard to replicate in a video game. And with that being said, video game match is a little bit different than real life match. Not always able to mimic the rules exactly, and it leads to a lot of busted coverages. And what that also means is that you don't know where your defenders are going as a defensive player, okay? I love things like cover 3 sky, Tampa 2, cover 4 quarters as drop coverage, because when I look at this play art, I know where every player is going. I know this hook curl right here, he's going to play around right here. And I know this guy right here is going to play around here. I know this deep half's going to play here. I know this outside cloud is going to play around right here, right? That's what I love. Whereas something like, we get into more match-based right here. Let's see if I can, well, actually just call a timeout and go into match. My issue with it is that you don't know where a lot of your players are going, and you have to learn how these guys all match onto various route concepts, right? And so right here, I'm in a match-based defense. And actually, this probably won't match because I have zone drops off. But I like being able to know where all my players are going. And I think a huge disadvantage people do is that they call defenses and they don't know what anyone's doing. And they'll never get stops doing that, okay? That's why I think these 3 basic coverages of cover 3 sky, Tampa 2, and cover 4 quarters as drop coverage is huge. Now, to make sure cover 4 quarters is drop and not match, and drop, by the way, just means that they'll play exactly where the zones are, is that you just want to have one of your zone drops on, okay? If you put these all at default, this is going to play actual match coverage. Quarters will. If you put this at 20 or anything, it could be any of these, right? They will play drop coverage, okay? And if you don't know what match is, by the way, match essentially is a hybrid between zone and man, where you have matching principles where someone will essentially match onto a certain route. Again, it's just easily exploitable in-game. That's why I don't recommend it to a lot of people. I think that is a huge deal, but each of these 3 defenses has a major weakness. So if we look at cover 2, or also known as Tampa 2, there's one major weakness in this, and it's going to be this hole shot in the top right of your screen, or really just outside the cloud flat, up and out, and outside the half. So let's see if we can actually recreate this right here on the right side with double streaks. And we'll see if we can throw this. You can kind of see that area, and you can imagine if that ball was even further to the sideline, that's going to be a tough ball to defend. And a really good example of this would be like a corner route can actually do a really good job against this. Let's go here. Boom, we have cover, we have a cloud flat, and we'll just go basic flood concept to the right, and let's see what happens. Boom, we're actually able just to attack underneath that cloud flat. So we're really able to attack the sideline when we're going up against cover 2. But what's nice about cover 2 is that the entire middle is really, really accounted for, right? And you know where they're accounted for, right? We have hook curl right here, hook curl right here, hook curl right here. So if you're playing somebody who's attacking the middle of the field a ton, I love cover 2. But if you're playing somebody who's really doing a good job of taking those deep shots to the deep sideline, hitting you in your flats a lot, cover 2 might be something we have to get out of. And if we got out of cover 2, what I would go to is cover 3 sky. Now, cover 3 sky is really, really cool because if we shade our coverage underneath, this is going to do a good job of taking away a lot of different corner routes, and this will do a good job of taking away flats, right? If we do this kind of same idea, to throw this corner route, it's going to be a little bit harder. You have to get a good pass lead. You have to really be a pretty decent player to pass lead this correctly, and we have that hard flat taken away. Now, cover 3, though, the biggest weakness we have here is the seams. You see this middle third? he is responsible for the entire middle. So this guy is really susceptible to something like this, a streak from RB, right? Like that is, he's very susceptible to that. Now, if your opponent isn't running that stuff, you're fine. But if he is, that's going to give you some more issues. But cover 3 is probably the best of both worlds because it has 2 hook curls and it has 3 deep zones, right? Now, cover 4, let's go into this now, is going to be the most susceptible in the underneath middle. It's going to do a good job on the sidelines because it has that cover 3 aspect with the outside deep zone, but it's a quarter this time. And then in the seam, it'll also do a better job because it has this inside quarter. So we go again to the seam, try throwing that this time, and it's going to be a much tougher throw. We're able to fit it in still. You could maybe move that guy down to help you some, but it's going to help you a good amount. Okay, but again, now in the middle of the field, intermediate middle, you are totally responsible for everything. So very easy to attack. So you have give and take on everything, right? One of my favorite mix-ins, and this is kind of a bonus tip for coverage, is bumping into cover 2 man. Where do we have a cover 2 man play here? Give me a cover 2 man. Cover 2 man. There we go. Cover 2 man. And this is actually going to do a really good job if you press, because what we're going to see here is that this, like, we're going to have all of our guys trail, and we're going to get bump coverage on everybody with safety help over top. It's really, really nice. Just the issue is on defense, you don't always know where everybody's going to go. And that's really important for the next thing I'm going to talk about. So I talked about how cover 3 is really susceptible in the seams, right? And every defense has its own weakness. But what if throws away to do absolutely nothing different coverage-wise, but take away that weakness? And the way we're going to do that is by utilizing our user. Now, so many people love to user control one of these defensive linemen. And, you know, you can sometimes get some really nice auto sheds, and we actually dominate on the left side right there, and, you know, do some cool things. But I'm telling you, from years of trying different things and years of experience, the best thing we can do is user a hook curl in the middle of the field, one of these yellow zones. We don't really want to user a deep blue because that's a lot of responsibility, although I do have something later on this. And we don't really want to user a flat zone because they're kind of, I don't know, I just don't like to do them, but you could, I guess. The hook curl's awesome. If we do a good job, we can, like, change the game. If we do a bad job, we're not hurting that much. Because look, let's pretend they've thrown that seam a few times, but this time I'm usering this guy. Boom, they go to throw that seam again, and now I'm able to get an interception, and people will make that throw. And the thing is that if we're able to force turnovers, even if we blow coverage in the middle sometimes, turnovers is what wins games, and your user is the biggest player on the field who can force turnovers, right? Because now, imagine, you know, they've done that a few times, but this time, let's just say, you know, they keep on throwing a corner route, right? Let's just say that. They're throwing a corner route every single play. They keep on throwing it. Let's see. Boom. Cool. Well, this time, dude, oh, corner route? Well, I'm just going to user up there, and now my user's able to get into the play up there and almost get a pick. What I just showcased is that your user is the most versatile player. He can go to this side, all the way up top. He can defend the right flat, or he could carry, let's say they're running a crosser, right? Oh, RB's on a crosser. I'm going to carry him all the way across the field, right? And then be able to get a user pick on the sideline. That's something else we can do. Now, the biggest thing with the user is knowing where your defense is weak, because you don't want a user where you're already having a zone defender. So if I went cover 3 and I decide to put hard flats on the field, which these hard flats will defend the very aggressive flats right at the line of scrimmage, and they put an out route from A right here, do I need to user this out route? Not really. Like, we already have a dude there, right? And that's why I talk about match and man coverage being a little bit tough, because you don't know where your players are, which means you don't know where to user. So your most important defender on the field, you're just kind of left like a chicken with his head cut off. It's tough. And I'm in that situation all the time when I try those defenses. It's very hard for me to do, right? So instead, I'm saying, oh, I'm in cover 3. Well, I know I'm susceptible in the seam. So if they run a seam route, oh, I'm there. And then, actually, let me go back to the middle right here for that slant coming across, right? The biggest thing we could do pre-snap is trying to guess what routes they're going to run based off the formation they're in, based off their previous tendencies, and then try to pair that with where are we weak, right? Where are we weak? If this guy has thrown a corner route 10 times this game, well, then maybe I should be expecting a corner route. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I should just start expecting a corner route and then get there with my user. You know, that's a huge thing. Don't let someone, if someone keeps on throwing the same route, start using that route. So many people don't do it. Oh, you want to keep throwing this corner route, buddy? I'm just going to use the corner, and now I have a chance to make the play. Same thing with post route, same thing with the curl, etc., etc. Your user, most important player on defense. And it's going to feel weird at first, but dang, will this win you a lot of games, man. And I want to point out when I'm usering, I'm only using the left stick until I'm in a direction and I want to sprint with the right trigger. I don't really catch myself strafing too much. And when I go for a pick, I usually will hold Y and not tap Y, okay? So make sure you are only holding the right trigger when you're actually trying to sprint in a direction. I personally don't strafe, and then I hold Y to try to catch a pick. So when I'm calling this cover 3, you actually see me consistently turning these purple curl flats into hard flats right here. And I'll show you this really fast, actually, where we actually have the ability, once you get good at this stuff, to like totally change what the defense looks like. Now that is actually a visual bug, but nonetheless, we have the ability to do a bunch of really cool stuff with our coverage. And the way we do this is by doing something called quick adjusting, okay? Because we can turn any coverage into whatever we want. Now I'm gonna give you a super brief rundown of quick adjusting, but this is something that is vital for you to get better at playing defense. Quick adjustments, okay? So Y or triangle is going to take over your coverage adjustments. We can do things like press with the left stick. We can do things like give cushion. We could shade our coverage underneath, which is going to make us have hard flats on the field and get all of our zones to play a little bit more aggressive. Or we could shade our coverage over top, which is going to get them to play a little bit further back. It's pretty self-explanatory, okay? Now, shading inside and outside really doesn't have much of an effect on zones, but it does for man coverage if you wanted to shade inside or outside based on what routes you thought might be coming. You can get really nerdy with that stuff, and it can have a slight impact on zones, but it really, I've never cared about inside, outside for zones, okay? So wire triangle is coverage. Now, if we go left on the D-pad, it's going to be D-line. We can pinch, spread, shift left, shift right, or we can choose where to slant them. And slanting is just pretty common sense. If you think it's going to be a run to the right, you can slant right. If you think run to left, slant left, etc., etc. We can go linebackers by going right on the D-pad. And that's going to bring up the similar idea, but then we can blitz all linebackers. We can blitz just one of them, or we can zone out all of our linebackers, and that's right on the D-pad. What's cool here, though, is that all of those by single tapping is like group adjustments, right? We shift linebackers, all the linebackers shift. We shift our D-line, the entire D-line shifts. But if we double tap the button, we can then make individual adjustments. And this is where it gets a little bit more complex. So if we were to double tap wire triangle, we can actually then select a defender. So let's say I want to put that defender on the right, A. Let's say I want to put him in a curl. So I'm going to press A, and then I can actually put him in a vertical hook. And now my cover 3 has a vertical hook right there. And that's how you can get into some pretty cool coverages, because picture something like this, where, you know, we want to turn this cover 2 and blitz people, right? But now I actually don't want to do this anymore. Let's say I want to do something like this. We turn it into more of a cover 2 look. See what I'm saying? We can do some pretty cool thing. Let's say I want to spy out my entire defensive line. We can do that. That's where it gets pretty cool, but it's pretty advanced. What I highly recommend you understand is the shading over top and underneath, pressing, and then pinching your defensive line and slanting them in different directions. A big example where this can play a factor is, let's say this was 4th and 1 right now, and I was really worried about them running the ball to the middle, and I was worried about a quick pass to the flats. So I might press my coverage, right? Get my guys right up on them. I'm going to shade my coverage underneath so that I get hard flats, and I'm worried about a run in the middle too, right? It's 4th and 1. So I'm going to pinch my defensive line, and I'm going to slant them inside. My line's already pinched. And now we're going to have a better chance of blowing up that run in the middle. And let's see what happens if we actually call it here. Let's go. Snap it. Snap it. Set the ball. Boom. And we actually like totally come free. That might be a good defense right there, actually. But you can kind of see, right? Or 4th and 20, I actually want to back my boys up, and then we're going to play over top and get more cushion, right? A couple of real life examples. Or, on one more, I know he's not attacking the right flat, but he wants to attack that seam. I put this guy into a vert hook, and I don't even care about the right flat anymore because I know he's not attacking it based off his tendencies or formation or something like that. Just a couple of actual examples that I use to make these small adjustments. So when talking run defense, there's actually something really cool in this game that we can do on the offensive side of the ball called seeing our run blocking. So if we hold left trigger and push left on the right stick, we can actually see our run blocking. And you see my user right here is being blocked, right? He's moving around, he's being blocked. But what if we back up 9 yards or so? He's not blocked. They don't see him anymore. This is called hiding. This has been a thing for a long time in Madden and has made its way into college football 25. And it's just it's just a thing with the offensive line logic. It's annoying when you're on offense, and there are ways to counter this. But this is one of the easiest just run defenses you can do is just back up your user, and then you just have to come downhill and make the tackle. And you see, they will pretty much never really see you. This is one of the easiest things to do from nearly any formation that has a, or like really any defense, like really. I like this from 4-down lineman sets, but it's a really easy thing you can do. And this idea works for under center as well. It's a little bit sketchier going on sideline runs because the wide receivers get a little bit more involved. But let's see if we can get a single back, and we will go to let's go to a dive call, or let's go to a stretch call first. And when I go up against under center runs, I actually really like cover 3 sky. And the reason I like this is because it is a single high shell where we can hop on this deep safety. We have to be a little careful, but we can get this deep safety involved in the run game. So if we actually start out with a zone split weak, we can see that we don't get blocked and we're way up here, which means that when they call this play, we're able to come down. And if we do get blocked like we did right there, because we're bringing an extra guy into the box and into the play, we get somebody else unblocked, like you also saw right there, right? Now with a stretch run, with any kind of outside run, like we have here, what I like to do is really try to be the contained guy, okay? Force them back inside. And this might be a situation where I pinch my defensive line, maybe crash them inside, and then let's see what can happen here, right? Boom. And I really want to try my hardest to force them back inside by swooping with that top guy. Run defense can be hard, but I think by doing it like this, it's a really simplified way. And then some formations are better and worse against the run than others, right? Now, boom, there's an example. I would really try my best to swoop all the way around with this deep safety. Now, it's important to keep in mind that if they go and end up passing the ball, right, you got to either get back or switch stick down onto an underneath defender. And that brings me to our next thing I want to talk about, which is switch sticking. This is a brand new feature brought into college football 25, and it is actually one of the biggest things ever, and one of the biggest reasons why I want you guys back in the 3 basic coverages, Tampa 2, cover 3 sky, and cover 4 quarters drop version, right? And the reason we want this is because switch stick is so powerful. So let me show you this really fast. Let's go into just a basic defense here. I'm gonna spy my defensive line. Now we have our user right here, right? If I snap this ball, if I click the right stick in a direction, my user's actually going to switch. So if I click to the right, I'm this guy. Let's say I want to get on that top right safety, right? Boom, I'm here. Let's say I want to get to the middle. Boom, I'm here. It's all by just tapping and flicking the stick in a direction. This is massive. I'll show you actually kind of a real world application for this where you can really start utilizing it. Is one, when you're using the deep middle third against run defense, because you can just switch down and get off of the middle third. But 2, let's say they're doing something like this, where they're throwing this corner route to the left quite a bit. Let's go here. Let's say they're hitting that corner route a lot, okay? What we can actually do here, and this is massive, when you get this down, it is really, really cool. Let's go snap this ball. Oh my gosh, boom. They go to throw this corner route, and you have the potential to actually switch stick up right there. Try to do it 2 controllers, so do forgive me if I'm a little rough at doing it, but something like this, boom, snap the ball. Oh, corner route, I'm there, right? And then you have the ability to play up, play down, etc., etc. Or you could do that with if they're calling a coverage bomb, right? Let's pretend that they're going, they have this deep post route, and we're here, and you go, oh my gosh, coverage bomb. Well, now I'm the deep middle third, and I can actually play that guy a little bit better, right? There's a bunch of different real world applications for this. Let's go something like this, boom. Oh gosh, I'm there. Boom, right? We're able to switch all around underneath, which is a massive, massive game changer. The switch stick, dude, like, it is, if you like skill gap, and you always say, oh, this game needs skill gap, this is skill gap right here. It's huge. So the idea behind zone drops is actually really cool because there's some stuff that's very straightforward. That's like, oh, of course. But then there's some stuff that like you would not know this unless you knew this. So I'm gonna deep dive both. Zone drops, the idea behind them is that you set these bad boys to play exactly where you want them to play. So we want, in this case, our flats would play 25 yards deep. Our curl flats apply to curl flats, quarter flats, and seam flats, 25 yards deep. In this case, 25 yards deep. You could do whatever depth you wanted, though. A really good use case for this would be, let's just give an example here of if you're playing an opponent who keeps on throwing, let's say a post route, right? Let's just give a hypothetical. He's throwing this post route right there, right above your hook curl every single time, right? No matter what you do. Well, easy fix, dude. You're just going to drop your hook curl back to, let's say that's 15 yards. I don't know what that was, but we'll say 15 yards, right? Now, if we do the exact same route combo, you're going to see that that's how we can defend it. This is like the most, like, duh type use case for it, but it's really, really helpful. Now, that post route isn't open, or at least not open in the same spot. Maybe it gets open in a different area, but now that hook curl is defending that area. But what I want you guys to take a look at here is I have my flats set to 25. So these cloud flat, or these outside flats, should play 25 yards deep, right? That's what they were set at. On the left side, I'm going to have a hard flat. On the right side, I'm going to have a cloud flat. On offense here, I'm going to have the same route combo on both sides. So if we look at this, is the exact same route combo. 2 deep corner routes. Left side hard flat, right side cloud flat. Both should be set to the same distance because they're underneath the flats category. If we snap this ball, notice how they play differently. Like, they play drastically differently. I'll actually show this in instant replay because this is a game changer. And there's a lot of use cases for this. Okay? On the left side, we have a hard flat. He turns his hips and he runs back to the depth he's supposed to. This is 30 yards deep. Now, the corner route gets over him, but it's because he's 30 yards deep. Now, if we look across, where's our other flat? Our cloud flat backpedals. He only backpedals. So what this means is that hard flats dropped to 30 are better at getting deep than a cloud flat is, right? Now, he still makes the play, but look at where the hard flat is in comparison, right? Way deeper. And this is actually opposite. Whoops. This is actually opposite of what the, or not opposite, but this is like, goes against what the coaching adjustments show. Because if we look at this at the top, we see that flat set to 25 overrides the drop depth for hard flat, cloud flat, and soft squat zones. Yet hard flats do a much better job of getting back deep when zone drop than cloud flats. And then curl flats also do a really good job. So if we showcase this, let's go kind of same idea. And now we do 2 curl flats on both sides. We can kind of show what a curl flat does from the inside, set to 25. They do a good job. The corner route on both sides was defended. So that can be really good for defending corner routes and other things of that nature, right? Deep crossers, anything like that. That's kind of how you want to do it, with zone dropped to 25 or 30, hard flats or curl flats. They do a great job. That's a really advanced tip, by the way. So being honest, blitzing is a hard thing to discuss in a video like this. One, it gets into a lot of like AI manipulation because you're manipulating the offensive line. And then 2, just blitzes a lot of times get patched and can change a ton, which will make this video or this segment potentially irrelevant. So I'm going to go over some things that will always be true in this, okay? First and foremost, if you're blitzing, you want your blitzers to be close to the line of scrimmage. That sounds like obvious, but the amount of blitzes, people blitzing, I see blitz from back here. Who cares if this guy even comes in? I have all day, and I'm able to make whatever read right there. I don't because I suck at using 2 controllers, but it's a delayed blitz. You don't want those in this game. You want this guy right up on the line of scrimmage, or at very least coming from around here rather than way out here. That is a huge, huge, huge deal. And ideally, the defense you choose always looks like you're blitzing at some degree, right? It always has some sort of blitz threat that the offense has to be aware of. A really good one would be something like this. And then let's see if we can actually make a little blitz happen. Boom. Kind of. There's a little something, something. The next key to blitzing is that we have to use our user to distract the offensive line. The way we can do this is, let's actually do it. So let's get this guy over here. This little blitzing concept for you that should be good. Okay, we'll take our user and stand right here. The offensive line has to respect our user, right? Because he could be blitzing. So if we take our user and then we like swoop inside, you'll actually see it. We don't get it totally right there. But to just explain the concept without going super deep to you guys, the idea is that this guard or one of the offensive linemen has to suck inside with my user, right? And you kind of see that with the lineman. He kind of hesitates for a second. And then with that, you're able to get pressure to come along the outside. Right there, we don't do a great job of it, But that's the general idea of using your user to distract the offensive line. Let's see if I can actually get a good clip right here of doing it. We got it the first time, actually. We go here, we swoop back inside, and we do not distract them at all. So that won't work. We have to distract them with our user by getting close to the line of scrimmage. Let's try it this time this way. Again, blitzes take a lot of lab work to figure out the best ones. And you also have to have, like, run defense from them. Blitzes are hard. Like, they really are. Let's go snap. Can we distract the offensive line at all? We get a little bit of edge pressure off that right edge where they do a little bit of a loop. And he is able to come free. And we end up collapsing the pocket along with that. That is the general idea behind blitzing without going into stuff that can easily get patched. If you want me to dig deeper in blitzing in a future video, let me know. So that's the fundamentals, but now let's deep dive the 5 best offenses to run in college football 25. These are going to be a great starting point for you if you want to start scoring more touchdowns. The first offense on our list is going to be out of the Liberty playbook, and this one's going to attack the defensive meta in a very unique way. So, Liberty playbook, and we want to be in the gun split slot. Do not get this confused with some of the other split back formations. Gun split slot is what we want. Those other ones are cool, and they can be pretty good, but we're focusing on this for now. Now, the 2 run plays I really like from this is going to be triple option RT, that's triple option right, and then triple option left. I highly suggest you put those in your audibles. That's going to be the left trigger to open up your audible screen, and then you just select your audible and then change them, okay? So right here, I want to show this very quickly against mid blitz. Against mid blitz, we're just going to be able to cook mid blitz consistently. You can run this either way, but you can see immediately we're able to get out. And then I try to avoid contact with the quarterback just because wear and tear is a thing, but sometimes you will get hit. In an option scheme like this, you're going to get hit sometimes. Right here, you're able to see we're able to hit that hole. We're just making a read on this triple option. Watch this read key on the right side, the guy with the R icon over him. If he crashes down hard, I'm going to hold Air X to pull the ball like I do right here. Then we can tap LB to pitch it out if we get the opportunity to, right? If we see that kind of interaction being, oh, they're playing the quarterback, then we get to pitch it out. Let's do it again. Oh, I actually held it right there, and I was still able to get the pitch off, so it worked out, but that was actually the wrong read. Now, one thing I found is that if they are playing the quarterback, but I hand the ball off, and they're still blowing up the run, try going the other way with this, okay? It does a really, really good job. Let's go here, bang. We're able to get out really, really easily. If you don't have to pitch it, don't pitch it. You really want to try keeping it with your quarterback as often as you can, just because there is a little bit of risk in that pitch relationship, right? So let's go here again. Boom. We're going to pull it. I'm going to pitch it right here. We're able to get that nice pitch. If you hold left bumper, it's going to be a slower pitch with a little bit more accuracy. You tap it, it's going to be a faster pitch with less accuracy. So just keep that in mind. Boom. Obviously, my user's right there, but hopefully that guy would get blocked. And we're able to get big play after big play after big play. Now, I'm not just going to show this, of course, in practice, but we're going to go into a game. But I want to talk first through 2 passing plays that I like out of this quite a bit. The first of which is going to be the play PA Flood. Let's go up against random defenses here. Now, you could run this totally stock. I don't love it, but if you're on the road in Dynasty, it's something you could do, right, to snap the ball. I like to tap RT to get rid of that animation. And then we're able to make the read. Really, you're making the read between 2 things. On this play, it's going to be the flat. It's going to be a high-low between the flat and the out route. And then this cross can do a good job against cover 2 and beating man coverage. It's kind of deep post kind of crosser thing. Tap right trigger. We're good. And right there, we're going to go above. We just missed the throw, unfortunately. But it's a pretty basic read. Instead, what I like to do, actually, is drag my backside wide receiver. And then I like to corner route my slot and stem him down. So I'd look like this right here. To stem somebody down, you're going to press Y or triangle, select them, hold left bumper, and go up or down on the left stick. You kind of see that right here. Okay? I like to stem them down just so that corner route is a little bit shorter. I think this play runs a little bit better. Especially that backside drag is a lot more viable against different things than the deep crosser is. But you can get away with either, really. I prefer the drag. He's more viable, in my opinion. So that's going to be pass play number 1. It's pretty basic. We have that drag backside. Let's see if we can throw him one time real quick. Got drag backside. Bang. And you can imagine how if this is a run, kind of heavier run offense, that's going to be very, very frustrating to go against. Next play I want to talk about is actually going to be the, where is she? The PA verts. So I'd recommend you throw these into your audibles as well. I would go here, go PA flood. I would go here and go PA verts. Then we call PA verts. Let's go up against a random defense. And I would probably block my halfback. This is a bit more of a shot play to the sideline where we're really looking for the 2 comeback routes. This will do a good job against man coverage and a lot of zone. But we're really looking for either comeback route, okay? I like to block this halfback who's on the play action. Now we're here. Boom. Gonna get comeback route on the right. Bang. Able to really make them work and make them have to really respect the sidelines on both sides of the field. Formations like this can sometimes struggle with making them respect sidelines, and here we can actually really force their hand. This is not the most powerful pass play in the world, not the most powerful pass play ever, but it is something that I think is very, very formidable. And wow, we actually had to come back, but we got blitzed. And it's something I think you could add to your arsenal and start having a lot of success pretty quickly with, truthfully. But you see right here, like, that's just more of a basic zone coverage with curl flats, I believe that was. That's going to do a little bit better of a job against this style of offense. So this entire thing starts around obviously having a pretty good running game. You see right there, that defensive end on the read option just kind of stood up a little bit. So we just want to hand the ball off. That's simply pressing absolutely nothing. You see it in the replay right there. 19 kind of stood up. Boom. Ideally, they crash down, because crashing down is where a lot of our big plays can hit. But if they don't, not the end of the world, right? We can just hand that ball off, take our yardage. See right here, if he's going to, we're going to hand it off again. We're going to get kind of a decent play, 3rd inches. Okay, I might go to the triple option left. Part of me wants to break out. See, now he's in mid blitz. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Go here. Boom. I actually kind of mess up, but we get the pitch off nonetheless. We're able to get a big play. That's the thing with the triple option left. I messed up the read a little bit there, but with the triple option left, they don't have numbers to play the pitch, right? If they're in a nickel set. Think about it. Let's see if he comes back out in this. Let's see. Come on. Come back out in it, Mr. EK. Like, even if that read guy, now he kind of just shifted, so the read guy changed to the inside. That's actually interesting. Interesting. So the read key is very far inside right now. I'm going to try this. I'm not super sure, though. Boom. We should be good. Okay, we get a big play. Big play, big play, big play, big play, big play. Get out. We're just going to get out of bounds. Don't want to take a hit. One of the biggest kind of issues with this style is that wear and tear can kind of come in fast, especially when you only have one kind of faster quarterback. All right, let's go. Let's go PA verts right here. The way I want to try blocking this is block him, and I'm going to ID the defensive end opposite. And so let's just see what happens right here. We have A up top now. I don't really like anything. Yeah, I thought he was going to be in man coverage. He wasn't. So we'll just throw the ball away. That's fine. All right, let's go back to this here. Boom. I'm going to keep it. We're good. He's actually giving me some different looks, but we're able to go. Touchdown. I'm going to go for 2. I'm going to try, and we're just going to, like, try this right here. We're going to try the load option. But, I mean, you can see, like, first drive, we're able to get the run game going. And then from there, I mean, honestly, he didn't really show many signs of being able to stop that. So let's go a little load option now. I don't know how this is going to be. Curious. I'd like this to be good, but I feel like it isn't. Skirt. Almost. Almost. The Alabama Crimson Tide have one of the best offensive playbooks in all of college football 25. This thing has runs, has passes. It has everything that you'd want to have for a college playbook to be fun, but it has the stuff that's high level enough to be able to beat anybody in the world, whoever your opponent is, any defense. So we want to focus on the bunch tight end formation here. Now, bunch tight end is in a bunch of playbooks, very popular in Madden, but in college football, it's only in the Crimson Tide's playbook. Out of bunch tight end, we're going to see a play called halfback off tackle. This run right here is insanely good for making people get out of double mug. You know, you'll see people do stuff like this where they try mugging the gap. Well, if you try doing that against this off tackle, you can kind of see what happens. I'm on Heisman difficulty, by the way. A lot of people try, you know, let's say they bring this guy down instead. Well, you go off tackle, and it's just going to be tough for them to consistently stop you. Now, right there, that's kind of the best case scenario where they're able to kind of string it out. But even that's not going to be super consistent. You see right here, that time it doesn't happen, and we're able to go. Notice they're not getting any kind of inside penetration. When you call inside zones against double mug, sometimes they can really just, like, come free up the middle. Well, this one, you have solid blocking. Boom, you're able to get off the races. Now, we start talking about pass plays. These are pretty cool as well. This has some unique stuff I'm a big fan of. Whenever you can get zig routes on your plays stock, it's always kind of cool. So let's go up against a random player right here on defense and call the play whips. Okay. Whips has two zig routes. This one from Bernard, our inside slot. And then our tight end also has a zig. If we're going up against man, we can leave that. Against zone, what I like to do is actually post route my point wide receiver, streak my tight end, stem this guy down, and here we go. Feel free to screenshot this right here. One of the best plays in the game. Pretty much every single year, this concept does a really good job. Let's go post route right here. Able to hit him. That ended up being man coverage. But we could go boom. Let's stem the corner route down this time, actually. Make it look like this. A little bit different with the corner route being stemmed down. Now we're going to go corner route. Able to throw him on his own. That's going to do a really good job. This play as a whole just does such a good job against so many different things. And even if you wanted to, I mean, there's just a billion different ways you could run this, right? Let's go here. We'll go halfback quick. Now, I will say if you can make hot routes, I would get that halfback on an actual flat route. But let's say that they are running man coverage. Well, here, I would actually just post my point wide receiver. Let's snap the ball. And these two zigs cook man coverage. Okay, so I want to showcase this. Let's go man coverage on defense. Let's go something like pinch blitz 0. And then let's do something like this right here. We're posting the point wide receiver. We're blocking the halfback. We can put the halfback on something, and we're ready to hoop. This right here kills man coverage. Boom. Tight end's open now. Able to hit him. It's going to be a super annoying play for people to have to defend very consistently throughout the game if they are a man coverage heavy type player, which I feel like a lot of people have become very man coverage heavy. Now, next play I want to talk about is the one called PA verticals. Now, something that an issue you'll run into sometimes with these kind of compressed formations is that they have issues clearing out zones to the wide side of the field. And so what I mean by that is if we go like streak corner route on the left, okay? Well, the corner route kind of gets played by this deep blue on the left. Like it's just a tough throw. What's nice about PA verticals is we could do something like, let's just say a hypothetical, this right here. And this kind of like wheel route, outward breaking seam does a really good job pushing every deep zone back on that side of the field, right? We see we have a cover 4. Well, right here, that he has to play him, so it's going to clear this out really easily. And it's good for switch sticking because let's say they switch stick up onto that guy up there. Well, you're going to be able to then just have a one-play touchdown. See what I'm saying? See where I'm getting at here? Now we go here again. Do keep in mind, this scheme isn't the best for if you are somebody who struggles with like a playbook or if you're somebody who not struggles with playbook restriction, but is on the road in Dynasty. This just isn't as good. Just something to keep in mind. Another way we could run this is like this right here. Let's go to it. We're going to have that corner route again, but we could choose between the corner route. We're just creating a high-low on that side, corner route, and drag. Let's go here again. This time, let's actually go kind of deep in route. A route coming that looks like this. Again, feel free to screenshot whenever you'd like. Go here. We have B again, but like you just making the reads, right? You'd have that over the middle you could throw. You have the drag going back across. You could throw a lot of different options on that style of play. Now, one of my favorite things in this game as a whole is this idea, which we can do from inside switch. Now, what's cool with inside switch is that we have a stock kind of deeper corner route from our tight end. So if we press Y or triangle, select him, which is A, and then hold left bumper, that's going to custom stem. Push the left stick all the way down, and you're going to create this little route combo on the right side. We have a flat route, or a table, people will call it, and then a tight end corner. This creates a high-low over there, and this corner route can do a good job against man coverage. Right there, we just clicked on and ad caught the ball, which we talk about in other videos. Let's create this high-low on the sideline. Let's keep on looking at it, and I'll talk you through what we're seeing here. Immediately, we're able to go high. Actually, another kind of man coverage, maybe match style look right there. So easy enough. But you're seeing the value in this corner route. Now they go high. So where do we go? We just go low, right? If they were to go low, let's see if I can just if I can create that situation right here, where they go low. We'll go high. You just got to get that ball in there. Right there, we get a little bit of a bad throw, but you kind of see the idea on that. Let's go here again. Oh, they go low. We go high. Now, you could pair this route combo with a few different things. I think my favorite thing to do here is just hitch my slot wide receiver, my inside slot, or I'm sorry, my point wide receiver, the middle slot wide receiver. So we have this on the left. Feel free to screenshot. Boom. Gonna do a good job against a lot of different things. This post route is good. We're able to throw him. Just need him to hold on to that ball right there. Let's go back to it again. And you can do, there's a lot of different setups you can do for this, by the way. Dang, we just got screamed at, but we're able to get that off. And you could block the halfback and drag somebody. Okay, so you could do something like this if you had to. And this is going to create that same high-low, right? It should. It's going to be the exact same. You create this route combo. All right, boom. I'm going to force it, but, I mean, right there, that's a force. We had underneath. We had that drag home underneath, but you kind of see the idea there. All right, we got a game here actually against Georgia. I'm not going to get the exact route. Oh, no, this works. This works. This is route combo. Boom. Here we go. We're able to hit that PA verticals. Wow, Jalen Milroe. Wow, that's kind of crazy, actually. That was like a wide open ball. Dang. Okay. Let's go here. I didn't set my audibles. I should have. But he's going to start defending that area. So let me instead do this. And this is a very... This is an older route combo. Oh, shoot. Deep cross right here. There we go. Okay, something like this right here out of PA verticals. We're just using that as kind of our base. Go boom. Able to get our little... Oh. Oh! Dude, you gotta be... I'm so big on this in this game, bro. You gotta be willing to throw your flats. You gotta be willing to throw your flats. Let's check into whips right here. And I think my audibles for this, definitely whips would be in the audibles. I'm surprised I haven't set my audibles in the playbook yet. Since the audible patch, but whatever. Oh, he's in man? Okay. I'll post Y. Go hut. A's open. Boom. You're able to see, like, even right there, the tight end got more covered than I think he would usually get. Like, that's a good example, though, of how good, of why I like that so much, I think. We'll go wheel out of the halfback as well this play. Give us something deep. All right, cool. Still sitting man coverage. You can tell, man, all wide receivers are covered. Tight end isn't, well, doesn't have anybody outside of him. We're here again. We'll go there. We might have had RB. We might have had the wheel for a tutty up top. But, man, like, you just have, like, the zigs are so good in this game. The tight end zig does such a good job. Especially you get a dog right there. He's in man coverage now. Notice how there's someone outside the tight end here. So now if he's in man, let me just go to something like this. I want to put my halfback on the actual table. Let's see. Maybe. Oh, give me some time. Boy, 74 got put down. Come on, Bama? Bro, what the? What the? Oh, block. What are we doing? Oh, my goodness. Okay. Same idea right here, though. Right? I like this. He has hard flats on the field. Good job. We're going to have Y. Bang. And think about it. If he had switched it up onto that deep blue and came down, the streak would have been open, right? So that's where, like, we're putting in route combos now that are very hard to switch stick against, which is a big, big, big deal. Let's go something like this in the red zone. I may not have a chance to call that off tackle, but it's just not in mug, so it's like, I don't want to call it against something it's not as good against. We might go to it right here, though. Let's go off tackle. This is a good off tackle opportunity. This close. This is inside zone. This is a billion percent. Bro, he's got 5 dudes out here on the left. We're just gonna run inside zone, bro. Don't be stubborn. Don't be stubborn, right? I wanted to call off tackle, but it's like, okay. All right, we move. Inside of the Utah State playbook is a play that is incredibly powerful, and you don't actually have to make any hot routes if you don't want to on this. This one is the gun tight slots halfback weak. That's the formation, I should say. And the play is called Flood. Now, this play, super, super cool. We'll go against random defenses here, and we'll just show it, then we'll break it down some. It's going to be very good at just attacking this sideline. Now, there's some adjustments we can make to it, but if you're somebody who plays on the road in Dynasty, this is probably something you want to get into your playbook somehow. Couple of keynotes. We want our halfback to the short side of the field, okay? So if we look to the right side, there's a long ways to the sideline. If we look to the left side, there's not as long of a way to the sideline. We want our halfback on the short side. Now, with this play, what makes it so good is that we have a stock flat route. So he's going to attack the intermediate or the short flat. We have a stock corner route on the same side. He's going to attack the intermediate, kind of deeper flat. And we have a deep post. This is our clear out route, okay? On the backside, we have a tight end drag and a little short cross. I don't love these two routes together, to be honest with you. And you see right there, we get screamed at and we can have some adjustments, but the post route was a touchdown. I don't love these two routes right here next to each other. They kind of run very close. If we snap the ball, you'll kind of see like it's just super close to one another. I don't love it. There's some better things that we could do. So our first option that we have is actually just block the tight end. If you're getting screamed at, just block your tight end. You'll be good. And then you can, wow. And then you can make that read on the sideline of high-low between the table and the corner, right? Go here again. Able to do that. We had underneath as well. You need to be willing to throw underneath. The other thing we can do outside of just blocking the tight end here is actually playing games. So one thing I like to do is go tight end corner route, outside wide receiver on a zig. This would be really good against man coverage, where, you know, zig route can beat man, corner route can beat man as well. And then we also just have that same high-low on the halfback side, right? Let me show you this against man. So, oh, whoops, I actually don't have two controllers on right now. But we'll just keep on showing this against random defenses. Here's man. Boom. Able to throw that. And you kind of see why I like that. Now we're attacking that other flat. Another thing we could do here is just simply streak and corner route the tight end. Streak the outside wide receiver, corner route tight end. Bang. Now we're able to, again, beat man coverage. We're attacking deep. Easy, easy, easy. And we're taking this one play and turning it into something a little bit more. You could also block the tight end. If you wanted to, you could, you know, just have this guy to zig by himself. He would do a good job against man on his own. You kind of see that right there. So if you thought it was a man blitz, you have that option as well. Make sure you're taking screenshots and all that, because a lot of these concepts can apply to other plays as well. So keep that in mind. Now, or other formations really too. Now, next play I want to talk about is going to be the, post wheel drag out of this. We'll go up against random defense again. Post wheel drag's cool. All we want to do on this is streak our halfback, streak the outside right wide receiver, and then I like to block the tight end, or you can put him on a route, right? You can put him on an out route, you can put him on a corner, or you can just block him. This right here is going to do a really good job of attacking the seam with the halfback and then attacking the middle with this post. Let's show it in action right here. Immediately, you kind of see that seam, right? That halfback streak just does such a good job. It does every single year. Let's go again. Again, we could hit him already if we wanted to. I'm going to throw the post, but we could have hit the halfback streak again. We could stem this post route down some on this play if we wanted to make it look something more like this. And then right here, we'll block the tight end. Have the halfback, throw the halfback. Like, that is something they have to start defending, which is a big change up from the flat route that they were having to defend earlier, right? They have to have hard flats for the play flood. And now they have to have a little bit of something extra for this play. Go here again, bang, have the halfback early. We actually had the halfback early, and we had the wheel. And the wheel is something where I haven't mentioned it yet, but he could be kind of a quick throw, or he could get open late. Let's see. Yeah, we had the tight end. I was trying to get that wheel open late on the sideline. We'll go here again. Bang. Like, you can see this guy's open in that, like, in that area damn near every single time, unless they're really doing some stuff to take it away. Go back again. Have him. Not going to throw it, though. We're going to step up. My post route got super bumped, but we'll take that, I guess. This play isn't as good against man coverage. Just keep that in mind. Next one I want to talk about is the play all go. Now here, we'll call this play. Let's go up against something like cover 3, or we'll just go up against random defense, actually. Now for this, I do like to streak my wide receiver who's on this little option route. And so the play art looks like this right here. Immediately, we have 2 quick flats we can throw. And what's nice here, they set everybody on this play, of course. But with the 2 quick flats, if they're playing any kind of over top coverage, you can hit them fast. And then you also can do some cool things against man coverage sometimes in this play. I don't know if we're going to be able to actually get it right here. But this play, the wheels are really, really good at getting open either early or getting open late. Let's see if we can show this. They're kind of shedding the living heck out of me. But you kind of see this wheel getting open very, very late. And that will get above different cover 2s. If they're in something like a cover 3, we can hit the seams from these guys, from our streaks, right? We go, boom. Oh, have him, right? Now we're attacking that kind of next layer a little bit. We'll go back to it. I'll block my halfback right here. Nothing early, but we're going to go late to Y. We're able to hit him for a big gain if the ball's not overthrown. But Utah State, you guys suck. Now, next thing we could do on top of this is just add in a halfback Texas route. That is like, now you're kind of seeing we're going to, immediately everyone's going to the sidelines. We're going to attack the middle. Go here again. Boom. We got Y. Throw Y. Bang. You can make that a quick throw, or you can throw it like I am right here. The run plays out of this are not great. And right there, I actually forgot to streak my guy. But you see kind of the quick throw again right there. We could also do something like... you do something like this if you wanted to. Drag that outside wide receiver on the left. So now we're here. And now from this, let's see, can we get it? Oh, my goodness. So if they are setting pressure, you have to block somebody. Just keep that in mind. If they are setting pressure, you just have to block somebody. Boom. Get some time. Up top. Big play spin. Now it would make someone miss. But you're able to see, like, this stuff, like this play right here, mixed in with flood, mixed in with the post wheel drag, all do such a good job. Now, the one run play that is okay out of this is the read option. It's fine. You can sometimes just get away just keeping it, and you can get some yardage. This guy's super slow. It's okay. It's definitely not the best. We'll hand this one off, right? It's fine, but it'll get the job done to be a run that they have to at least respect a little bit. But, like, especially if you're outmatched, this is not the run you want to be calling. So in Road to College Football Playoff, Utah State actually does not have the correct playbook. So keep that in mind. Utah State does not have the correct playbook in Road to College Football Playoff, that game mode. So Old Dominion also has this. So we're just going to rock this from Old Dominion. It's the exact same plays, everything the same. We're just going to do this. Now, right here, he's probably in cover 3. So what I'm going to do here is I'll just take this outside wide receiver and put him on a curl. Just have him sit here. Nothing too crazy. And he was actually he was in cover 3. We got hit throws, boys. You can see how powerful this is because, like, the first play, corner route, 30 yards. Like, simple as that, 30 yards. Next play, you get a corner route again, another 30, right? I want to say he might send pressure, so we're going to block tight end and then do a little zig route on the right. It might be man. It was man. Boom. Had a little zone help over top. Bang. We get out. Skirt. Good fight, my boys. Good fight. Let's go turbo. Now, right here, where do I want my halfback? Want him to the right. So let's flip it. This area of the field, I might go all goes, actually. All go. Streak the halfback. We'll drag outside wide receiver. Yeah, I like this. Let's see if we can get something. Oh. Ah! Good job, boys. Good little tutty. So we're talking Oregon's playbook. Now, Oregon has a really good gun trips, and you've probably heard of this before because it has the QB slot option, has some other cool stuff, but that's not what we're talking about in this one. Instead, we're going to the bunch strong offset. Now, I had to have this in this video because it is literally one of the best plays or best formations in the game by far, without a doubt. I want to show you one cool little thing. If we call the play return PA flood, just call that and go up against like something like mid blitz. Just calling this alone, and we'll block the halfback. Just calling this. Watch what happens. This guy gets outside leverage really easily on mid blitz, and you're able to throw him for really easy yards. So if they're running like mid blitz or some kind of man coverage, you could just call that play. I'm being dead serious. Look, this is PA flood. We can stem the tight end down if we wanted to, right? And if we wanted, we could have like a drag backside. From here we go. Boom. Send the guy back. We're good. And now we have an actual good play. This time we have man coverage, so we're just going to go over the top. Very, very easy play to start using. That outside guy is going to do a great job against beating man coverage. Or not even beating man coverage, just gets leverage, right? Just gets leverage. Boom. They kind of bump. Easy yardage. And that's like that's a mid-blitz killer. Like that is a absolute mid-blitz killer. There's nothing they can do. Again, that's return PA flood. My fault. Return PA flood. Really easy play to add in. Now, let's look and play like dagger right here, okay? This play, all we want to do is simply put our point wide receiver on a deep cross, okay? And then take our tight end, and I want to stem him almost all the way down. Let's see if we can actually... Yeah, it looks about this right here. Maybe stem him down a little bit further. He's going to act almost as a return route. Kind of see where he gets. This is going to create a trail concept happening on this right side. So again, just simply crosser the point wide receiver and then stem the tight end down basically right here. And you're creating a nice concept that's going to do a good job versus man and zone. That drag is incredibly good at beating the majority of zone and man coverages. And then from here, you know, if that drag, and let's just say the drag isn't open, we have the option to hit that crosser. Just got to be careful not to push him into the sideline. You have the option to hit the crosser. And let's see what else. You hit that backside in route at times. Oh, they sent pressure. if they're sending pressure, right, I would highly recommend you just straight up block that tight end. Okay, keep that in mind. You could block him or set up your protection. You don't have to max pro. Right there was kind of like an all-out blitz, it felt like. But I really rarely would have that happen. That's the area where you want to throw the drag, though. A lot of people always wait for the drag late, which you can. Like, you can wait for this drag all the way on the sideline. Right here is not the best example. But, like, you want to throw him more so when he's in front of your offensive line, right? Because that's how you're going to get really good rack and make this a really tough route to throw, right? Like, right here, now we're able to turn this drag into 12 yards. That's tough. Let's see if we can hit this backside in route once or twice. Let's go here. Bang. Not really able to, but we get the crosser. Crosser can do a good job against man coverage. Some people put a post here instead. I do think I prefer the crosser, but we'll go back. Go crosser right here. Bang. They're sending the dogs at me, and we're able to get really easy, good yardage out of this play. Now, another play that I'm a big fan of. Let's go random defense right here. Flood is cool. It's not like my favorite play ever. If we're going to call flood, we actually want our bunch to the short side of the field for flood, and then stem this tight end route down. Okay, so it looks like this. Then we're just making high lows, right? Boom. Underneath, throw that. Oh, have the tight end, throw the tight end. Right, bang. What's really nice about this is that it's a quick snap. So, like, you can just hut the ball. Just hut. You know what I'm saying? Like, just boom. Go here again. Bang. Let's go underneath. Ooh. Did we not block? Block, boys. Go bang. Underneath. Throw it. See what I'm saying? And on this play, it comes stock. We also have this backside in route from Holden right here. So we go to this. Backside in. Wow, it just wasn't open. I mean, we had the stuff on the play side. That backside in is a good option. See if we can get it right here. Dang, I felt like he was open the past couple of times. Bang. Let's see. Force the backside in right there. Able to hit him. Again, you don't want to just force that ball, but in this situation, we're able to hit him. Let's go. Boom. Tight end route can beat man coverage. It's not the best thing ever against it, but it definitely is an option against man. And then for an easy run play that we have here, if they're in a light set, think about something like dime. Let's just say dime rush, right? Duo is really good right here. Duo does a good job getting downfield, and they do a good job holding their blocks as well. So we could do this, right? Bang. Just keep on going like that. Or we also have, let's see, is it in my audibles? No. We also are going to have the, where is it? RPO alert screen. And so this makes them have to defend an RPO bubble, right? Bang, able to hit him. And then if you get a one-on-one opportunity, they have to actually respect that, right? Because you can make people miss. Right, here's a great example. Bang, get that block. We're able to get some really easy, cheap yardage from this right here. Now we'll go inside zone. Wow, they actually just blew it up. They just sent everybody at me. Nice. Here, we'll just hand it off. You don't have to press anything to hand it off. I don't love this as much because I feel like they don't do a great job of getting to the next level. You kind of saw right there, they got stuck on that double team. But you can see why I like this, because now you're able to pick up really, really easy yardage out of this. All right, we got Oregon versus Texas right here. We're going to start off with a nice little RPO bubble. These RPO bubbles are nice because anytime you can get a kind of constraint style play where it's just easy, pretty like low risk, low stress, all that type of things, it's just nice to have in your arsenal. And I honestly follow this up with a duo right here. I don't love the duo against this look. Let's see our blocking. We should be good, though. Duo, we're going to cut that in. And immediately, you can see, like, I think the run scheme from this is incredibly good. Like, really, really, really good. Now, let's go to our dagger setup. We're going to bring him down. And because he's actually not sending any pressure, I'm just going to get my halfback out of here on a flat route. But, boom, we're going to have cross. Bang, able to hit him. He was in cover 2 right there, yeah? So let's go flood now to the right side. That was, but that looked like an outside. There was like cover 3 cloud or something. Let's go, boom. Have underneath. Go underneath, right? And there you see like all of our plays we talked about, we've already used them. And like you see how this stuff is like very, very solid. And you can like rinse and repeat. Like right here, I'm going to go back to the same play again. We have underneath. I'm going to be a little aggressive. Should have just went underneath. Yeah, throw underneath. You have underneath, throw underneath. Don't be aggressive like I am. I guess the only play we haven't used so far is return PA flood, but it's just like not meant for this. And he's in a pretty tight set, so a pretty tight defense. This makes me think the RPO bubble is going to be here. And it is, as long as we can get the spin. Nice. Spin again. All right, let's go turbo. What am I? Okay, I don't have I don't have the exact audibles I want. I'm wondering if I could just do this, and this will just be a dot up the seam. The RB, no. X, no. We're going to take off with Dylan Gabriel. This is not a designed play, but we'll take it. Good job, good job, good job. 2nd and 3. The other run play that's decent here is read option. You'd be a little finicky on who the read key is, though. But right here, yeah, see, like, there's no read key now, unless it's... Is it that guy? Let's see. Yeah, no, there's no read key, so we should be able to keep it, actually. Just sometimes a little bit weird. I could have cut that up. Take it. First down, 1st and goal. Ooh. This could be hard right here. I'm going to go back to something we've done before, which is a little, like, flat streak route combo. On the halfback, can we get him? No. Gabriel. Oh, and we got the actual hurdle, baby. Let's go. Next, I want to talk about the Tennessee wide offense. This is going to be a hurry-up style of offense where you definitely, if you're going to run this, you want your tempo adjustment to be on no huddle. You don't want turbo, but you'd want no huddle. And really, the main ones I like here are wide bunch and wide trips. Now, I do think this is kind of hard to pass the ball out of, but it's fun enough to where I enjoy doing it a ton. And I think it's decent enough to where it is very actually formidable. So one thing you want to keep in mind here is that we want our wide side to the wide side of the field. And from here, this actually just becomes a numbers game. So I called the RPO read screen. Let me actually go back and show you that the play call here. We're calling RPO read screen as our first play. If we call that, go against random defense, you'll see we have a read key. Okay, we can read the numbers in the box, and then we can also read the numbers out wide. So right here in the box, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, okay? But one of them's a read key, which means he's going to purposely be unblocked, meaning that we have 5 blockers blocking 4 people. Now, on the bunch side here, all the way to the right, we know we have 3 people. They have 3 people. So we don't want to throw this screen to the right. So instead here, we actually just want to make this read option read, and then get out with our quarterback. Okay, pretty straightforward, actually. Again, same situation right here. They have 3-on-3 outside. We have an advantage right here. We're going to just keep this. Remember, to keep read options, you're just going to hold A or X. This won't always be the case, though, although it does appear to be the case right now consistently. Nice. I'm going to throw this slant that time. I wouldn't really ever throw that slant. That was actually a legal man downfield. So, again, they have 3-on-3, although we have more of... they have a few more people in the box right here. We're still able to get the pretty big gain. Again, I wanted to see if I could. So this would be an example of only one guy's out wide and 2 are splitting the difference. So I kind of want to see what they do. Oh, we can definitely throw this. Boom. That guy out wide who's all the way out, you know he's not going to make a play because we have blockers. So right here we have 2-on-3. So we should be able to make this play. Boom. We just need the blocks to hold up, and we're able to do so that time. Pretty basic, pretty straightforward with that style of play. Passing-wise, man, I'll be honest, I don't love passing the ball from this. Like, I don't. What I want to call right here is the play all go. We'll go up against random defense. And then from this, I want to simply drag my RB. Okay, so play looks like this. Then we can block our running back as well. This is the play. This can be a nice little decent high-low over the middle. This is nothing crazy. This is nothing insane. But against people who are starting to stack the box more, or they're starting to go a little bit like hybrid coverages, this can do a good job. You see this beating cover 2 right here. Like this is, it's kind of a big hitter, especially to that deep kind of cross. That's where I like this. Let's go again. Let's watch it. Oh, they kind of bumped into each other a ton. Whoa. They super bumped into each other. That was a little weird. Let's go back to it. Bang. Again, this isn't, I don't love the passing. It's hard to pass the ball from this. It really is. Let's go. Let's see it again really fast. Here. This time we're going to have A for a huge gain. So that's a really nice advantage of it where, you know, they start going man coverage, for example. You're able to hit him. Just a bigger hitter style play. Let's go to another, like, all the other pass plays are relatively the same, if I'm being totally honest with you, just due to spacing. They attack the same areas of the field. But the other one I want to talk about, the other formation, is wide trips. Because this is very similar, except instead of being in a bunch, we're going to be in a trip style of offense. And from here, what I actually like to do, we have more passing plays we can call. So, for example, we could call something like, where is this bad boy? We go slot wheel right here. Let's go against random defense. And we'll just drag the outside wide receiver. So it looks like this. This can do a good job against cover 0 and against the majority of zone coverages. So let's look. make sure you're willing to throw that underneath, especially the drag, right? You've got to be willing to throw that. We talk about that in all of our offenses, but especially, I don't want to say especially in this one, but like definitely in this one. Bang, able to hit him really easily. We could streak A and drag the outside wide receiver. So it looks like this now. And then we could do something with X where we put him on a drag. So this would be another style of route combo. Bang. Quickly. That's a pretty decent play. And then we also have the run game from this as well. I like the run game from the wide bunch a little bit more, but we do have the run game from here with the speed option, which is cool. They have the read option as well. And then I don't think there's anything else inside of here that's like insane. But I just like having the wide trips to audible to from the wide bunch. We're in a game against the Nittany Lions. You see right here, we don't have good numbers in the box, but we do have numbers to the outside. So we should be able to go right here. Bang. Pretty simple. Make a guy miss. And like you can see where this, I think one becomes really fun because it's a counting game. And two is like pretty good. Like it's actually solid. It's actually decent. It's not bad by any means. Now they have 3 outside, but we have numbers in the box. They have 5. They have 5 in the box. We have 5 blockers, but one of them's a read key. Although he did just do something kind of weird right here. The read key is that outside guy, so I'm just going to hand this one off. This does come down to O-line play a little bit. If their O-line, or if their defensive line dominates you, that's a little bit tougher, right? But I hope immediately you could see how we could just run this numerous different times and, you know, kind of pick where we want to go based on what they do. With all go, let's see. Again, I'm not confident in the passing game of this. Like, it's just not great. He's in this. Okay, he's in mug. Let's go with the drag from RB. Cool. And then I'm going to ID this guy. Looks like he's trying to play in between it a little bit. Okay, good D. And we're able to go up top! Yo, that's it right there. That is it. And just like that, now he's in a bad spot. Like, that is tough to deal with, dude. That's fire. No one ever talks about this, but let's deep dive how to actually set our depth chart the best way when we're trying to actually, hey, we want to win every game. This is how we want to set our depth chart. Before we get into the thick of things, I want to give you guys a few quality of life tips that should help you out a ton. If you're somebody who plays Road to College Football Playoff or just like regular like play now, if you want to set your depth chart, you have to go all the way over to create and share, go to rosters, and then scroll down to order depth chart. This will not save after you turn your console off as far as I know, so just keep that in mind. Dynasty, you can just do it inside the Dynasty menu. Cut, you can just do it inside the cut menu. Now, sometimes you might have formation-specific subs you want to make, and that's done at this screen right here by pressing Y or triangle, and then you'll open up this screen. Here, we're able to scroll around, and you can see I'm selecting different players. Let's actually say I want Kurtz. In this formation, I don't want Kurtz to play right here, okay? I actually would rather have Gray play right here. So we just do that, tap A, and then we have him in right now. And now when we go to select this formation, you'll see Gray is my outside left wide receiver. This only saves for the remainder of the game, and you do unfortunately have to save this each and every game. Now inside of your depth chart, you'll see that, for example, someone like Tyree Vernon is a 76 overall left tackle. But let's say he is the best available right tackle we have, but now he's only a 75 overall, but we really want to start him. That overall difference does not matter. Like him going down in overall, I don't care about. It's not like it's literally just a vanity number. As long as he hits the other metrics, other ratings that we're going to talk about later that you care about, awesome. Him losing overall right there does not matter. And you'll see this actually happen quite a bit where if someone has a really good wide receiver and they want that wide receiver to play DB for them, just maybe due to speed or something, that wide receiver might have low overall, but he might be the best option for what you're trying to do. So just keep in mind the out of position overall hits that some players get is not a massive deal as long as they hit the actual ratings that you're trying to use them in. So the quarterback is the most important player on the field when it comes to an offense. And I want to talk about what stats I actually care about here, what stats I don't care about. So first and foremost, I want you to pay attention to how this ball travels right here. Just like, boom, kind of see the zip on the ball. Sure, okay? I'm going to make a point really fast. Let's go from here, and let's just throw in my kicker, and we'll sub him at quarterback. Let's try to make that same throw here. Let's just watch. Halfback's out. That ball just got lobbed, essentially. That was a bullet pass still. That was his bullet pass, but that ball essentially got lobbed. We do it again, and you see again that ball velocity is going super, super slow. Let's try throwing to our running back here. Again, that ball velocity is just a duck. That is throw power, which is one of the bigger just like ratings in the game for quarterbacks. So right here, let's get Orgy back in. Throw power is massive, and it plays a factor in ball velocity, and it also plays a factor in how deep you can throw the ball down the field. Somebody like right here, actually, Denegal, can throw the ball a slight bit faster than Warren and Orgy, although a little minor difference with 95 to 91 and 93, I don't care about. But if this was low 80s compared to somebody in the mid 90s, that'd be a major difference, right? Especially like something like that would be crazy different. Now, Michigan has a unique quarterback spot because we have really 3 guys who are around the same overall, but really it's going to be Alex Orgy and then Davis Warren. And the big difference here that you're going to see is speed, right? And then we're also going to go to, if we go into the throwing stats, throw power, the same. Throw accuracy, short, the same. Throw accuracy, medium, about the same. +3, I don't care about. This is just stuff that has worked for me and the way I see it. Deep throw accuracy, though, is a big difference, okay? And this is really like the 3 stats I care about. Throw on the run can make a big difference. Throw under pressure, break sack, all that stuff I don't care too much about. But these guys are relatively the same except for deep throw accuracy, which is a little bit of a problem. But I want to showcase the difference between Orgy and Warren really fast when it comes to speed, because +14 speed is actually massive. Let me throw this ball away really fast. That's my kicker. And this is why I care about it. With someone like Orgy, with this speed, you can actually be the fastest player on the field against some defenses, or at least one of them. You'll be faster than a lot of people, meaning that you can make plays happen when plays collapse. Right here, pocket collapsing, Orgy can actually outrun that D tackle, and maybe he can get yards, throw it away, avoid a bad play, whatever. If we use someone like Alex Warren, who has, or I'm sorry, Davis Warren, who has only 77 speed, think about who he's going to be on the same level with. That's the same speed as almost every linebacker. If there's a linebacker slower, that's not good. That's the same speed as most of the defensive line. So while 77 speed, you can still make things happen with that. You are not going to be faster than the players you're trying to run away from. Right here, we're just not fast enough. Orgy might get out right there. That could be a big 3rd and 1 that you're able to convert. Right here, Orgy might be able to get away right there. Warren can't. That is a massive difference maker. Now, you might be saying, okay, but the deep throw accuracy could be a big deal. Yes, like to an extent. I think the game gives us decent control over where the ball is placed for the most part. I don't see too many overthrows or underthrows happen, at least that aren't the reason of the actual stat. A lot of time, overthrows are due to ball placement or you getting a bad timing on the actual accuracy. But it definitely can make a difference. Right there, actually, we see Warren miss a throw, and he's a guy who has the higher deep accuracy. So it's not like just because you choose the guy who's higher does not mean he can't miss either, right? So keep that in mind. For me in this situation, I would want Orgy being my QB1, literally just because of the fact that he has such more speed that's going to allow us to make more plays. Now, if you're running an option-heavy offense, that's an easy, right? If your quarterback's running a lot, that's an easy thing. But if you're a pass-heavy guy or more of a ground and pound, handed off type guy, I still think you want that speed. Now, if there was a hypothetical where we had Arch Manning on this team, for me, Arch Manning, who's an 87 overall, has a lot of throwing stats, very high ratings across the board. I want him as my starter in that case, unless I'm in that quarterback option style offense. Now, North Texas actually has kind of a hilarious halfback situation going on here. So let's go into the depth chart with them, and let's talk about the running back position in College Football 25. Here, we have 3 running backs, all around 80 overall. I'm sorry, Ashton Gray and Sibley. You guys, no, we're not talking about you today. Ragsdale, Evans, and Price. Now, if we look here, Ragsdale is the highest overall, 83 overall. Then we have Evans, then we have Price. One thing to notice immediately, Evans has absolutely no badges. That, in my mind, immediately says, man, I don't know if I want to play him as much, just because those badges, even if they're not super impactful, can make a little bit of a difference, and it can, like, they help. They will help you. Now, if we look at the speed, we see our running back 1 has 86 speed, and our running back 3 has 94 speed. And this is just think about this. The difference in 8 speed, let's just look at defensive players, right? Let's look at this. Let's go DBs. 90 speed, 91 speed, 97 speed, 89 speed, 90 speed. That means only one defensive back is faster than our third string running back, but all of them are faster than our first string, which means he's going to get hawked down easily, right? If you look at something like linebackers, this linebacker right here isn't much slower than our starting halfback, but he's so much slower than our third string. Let's go something like, do we have any fast DNs here? No, they won't be applicable here. Sometimes you will get fast DNs. Same with our left outside linebacker, right? So here we're going from a guy who's the same speed as the defense, give or take, a little bit slower than their defensive backs, to Price, who is faster than everybody on the field. That is an insane strength. So in this case, we want him here. And also, look at the awareness. 82 awareness compared to 90 awareness. So is Price even actually worse than Ragsdale? Because at the halfback spot, awareness, again, is playing no factor at all as far as I have ever seen in my 5, 6, 7 years of playing competitive Madden and competitive college football. It just, like, doesn't play much of a factor. Acceleration also for him is better, right? Break tackle is worse. That is something where break tackle, what that's going to do for you is a lot of those, like, auto broken tackles you see where someone goes to try to wrap up on you and they just kind of, like, fall off. That is where that plays a big factor. Also, truck, Ragsdale's a way, way better, 89 to 77. So while I think it'd be hard to ever argue Ragsdale in any kind of offense over Price, because even if you're in a run-heavy, slam the ball down their throat type offense, you want the speed just to be able to break open when you have that chance, right? But in the goal line situation, in 4th and 1, you actually might want Ragsdale. And he even has that downhill ability too, head first as well, armbar. So he's going to be a little bit more physical. If we look at his height and weight, he's 5'11", 215. Juwan Price is 5'10", 208. So, I mean, kind of the same right there. But we are losing a little bit in that break tackle thing. So we're going to see Ragsdale be a little bit more of a power back. And that's where you might go to something like, let's go here. And let's go to, let's say, we have our power formation. Let's just say, when we're in short yardage, we love Y trio offset weak. It's a hypothetical. We can press Y or triangle, then scroll down to our halfback spot and say, whenever I'm here, I want Ragsdale here, right? I want Ragsdale in this because I love running power O right here, and I'm just trying to get a yard. I'd rather have Ragsdale here with the higher trucking, and, he's going to help. He's going to fall forward a little bit more, right? Get a little bit more broken tackles. He's better for those short yard situations. So that's where, not everything is always 100% set in stone for, like, he is always better in every single situation. But right here, I think it's just like that speed difference is massive. And again, we did the same thing for quarterback, where when you have, like, speed is everything on an offense. Explosiveness will keep you in every kind of game, no matter what the talent difference is. If you have speed, you have a chance. San Diego State is another example of this, where it's like, in what world would you not want pretty much the fastest player in the game starting a halfback? I don't care what Marquez Cooper's doing, right? We have this dude at 98 speed. Like, this dude is going to win you games alone, right? Does Cooper have a little bit better broke tackle and some other things? Sure, I guess. But I don't care about that, dude. Like, the speed right here is quite literally everything. I think that even that applies to a downhill style of offense where you want to be, you're pounding the ball, you want to get in the trenches type stuff. You want the speed because when you see those holes, that's going to let you explode through them, outrun the defense, and score more touchdowns, which wins you games. So when it comes to the fullback spot, assuming you're running a more traditional style of fullback, obviously this would change if you're running flex bone. That'd go more into the halfback area. But if you're running a more traditional fullback, it's actually pretty simple what we're looking for here, right? Let's scroll down. You might not have an actual fullback here, but what I want is somebody with decent speed, low 80s, because if he's going to be lead blocking for my halfback, he needs to be fast enough to stay ahead of my halfback, right? So Bredesen is a little bit scary right here with 71 speed. I'd actually want one of these two tight ends and just make them the starting fullback. Then I want to scroll all the way over and let's find two main things I'm looking for, which is, where is this? Where is it? We have run block, which is, 68 compared to 73. I have Klein is going to win this for me, just because he also has that better speed. I don't even know how to say his last name, but he's probably out. It's just so 58. It's just so low where I just don't think you can have that on the field. But what we want to find here is the impact blocking, because impact blocks are where you're going downhill and meeting at a collision point, okay? And even though Klein has a little bit worse impact block than we have right here with our starting fullback, I think that extra speed that we get with Klein is absolutely worth it. Now, what you could do is, this is just an idea, is that if you had a fast offensive lineman, you could throw him as starting fullback. But again, you got to think here, right? If we're running some kind of stretch, if we're running an outside zone, if we're running a power or something, we need our fullback to be able to get out ahead of us, right? He has to. And then right there, that's an impact block that he just did. But if he's slower, he's gonna make contact closer to the halfback, which makes it more likely for us to get hit, right? He's gonna miss the block. They're just closer to us. We don't want that. Whereas this case, he's able to get out in front of us, and it is a massive, massive difference. Good job, Donovan Edwards. We're getting downfield right now. And just that speed, if you hand it off to him, it can be helpful. This right here, another impact block. You see, he's doing a great job, even with whatever it was, 68 or so. All right, so when it comes to wide receivers, I first want to talk about like the different ratings and what they kind of mean, okay? And what like is actually important in my mind. So speed is just speed, right? That's cool. Acceleration, also somewhat important, but I'm not too crazy. Like speed, usually high speed will come at high acceleration, so I don't care too much about that. Agility, strength, all that, don't care. Awareness, don't care. All these stuff, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care. And again, I'm just speaking on what has been important for me. Carrying, for the most part, like, not too big of a deal. Catching also won't be a major deal. If they're open, they will catch the ball. Now, there are some other stats we'll talk about that can have more of an impact, but short route running, medium route running, and deep route running. This is incredibly important when it comes to beating man coverage, okay? Higher route running means that essentially they're going to run their routes more crisp, which means that they will beat their man better, right? Especially on routes that have a cut in them, right? Whether it's a post, a slant, even things like I think short route running would help a drag get open, an in get open, right? Things like that. Now, sometimes the difference between, what type of route is which can be a little bit muddied up, and I'm not really here to talk too much about that. But the next one that can be really important here is catch in traffic. This is going to be how well they get the ball and then get hit with the ball and hold on to it, right? They don't drop the catch in traffic. This is an important ability or an important rating. Someone like right here, Jonte Cook with 77, I'm like, he might actually drop the ball some. Like, he really might. Spec catch right here, not really something I care too much about. That's like if you're going up for one-on-one catches. I highly recommend staying away from one-on-one catches. It's an interception ball. You really shouldn't be throwing many one-on-one jump balls, okay? Release also can be something that's important, but it's really only thing release matters a ton against is against press man coverage, which I more so care about our route combinations than I do about the actual rating. This is something where it's like rating somewhat matters, but if you understand how to get open against press man, that matters way more, okay? Jump, I don't care about. Really, it's the route runnings, and then catching traffic can be important, and then speed, okay? So let's actually talk about this right here, because while I said those are important ratings, the next thing that's important is actually their height. I'm very against short wide receivers for the most part, okay? They can separate against man coverage a little bit better, but they're going to have smaller catch radiuses. They're going to be worse against zone coverage because imagine if you have a corner route that's just barely above a flat defender, right? He's maybe a couple steps. If that wide receiver's tall, then you can throw it up high and get it above that flat defender. If he's short, you can't throw it as high, meaning that the flat defender can play it a little bit better, okay? So, if we care about speed and we care about height, let's look at somebody like DeAndre Moore. No, don't really care about him. But what about Ryan Wingo. He is 6'2", 96 speed, and let's check out some of his stuff. He's going to have 84 catching. Don't really care, but that's fine. Route running isn't great, but it's in the 80s, and then the catch and traffic is fine. It's 85. If we look at Ryan Wingo compared to somebody like a Silas Bolden, I actually think Wingo might be better. And Wingo even has the layout badge and the double dip badge, which will only help. I actually, there's a good argument for Wingo to play over Bolden. Now, you could find, you actually end up liking, this is like a tough decision, actually. But just that speed is massive. But then it'd be like, okay, what about Bolden against Golden? Okay. Well, We're going to have a 4-inch difference. That's a -1 speed, which is only 1, so it's not that crazy. And then we go into some route running stuff, and nothing crazy. And actually, deep route running favors Golden. Mid route running is the same, and short route running favors Bolden here. I'm saying Golden. I'm saying Golden wins this. And so in this is a situation where even though we have an insane difference in just pure awareness, or I'm sorry, in overall, right, 90 compared to 86, not an insane difference, but a difference. I actually think this guy's a 4th. And if we go to awareness here, you see he has 92 awareness compared to 69 awareness on Wingo. Imagine if Wingo had 92 awareness. He'd probably be an 83 overall, 84 overall potentially. From there, that's not that big of a jump. And Wingo wins a lot of the intangibles, a lot of the speed stuff. The route running's kind of whatever. It's give or take. Catching traffic is close enough. I think you're going to see more big plays from Wingo here than you would Bolden in this situation. Tight end for me, and I hate giving this answer, but you just like kind of want a dude who's an absolute dog here. And I want to break down kind of what's important at the tight end spot. This definitely can be very specific to the type of offense you're running. Mind you, everything can be, and I've mentioned that already, but Texas State, for example, 2 tight ends, 89 speed, 73 speed. Almost the exact same. But you might be saying, okay, well, this guy's probably a much better run blocker then, right? He even has the tight end tendencies. He's a blocking tight end compared to a possession tight end. Well, first, let's talk about the ratings I care about. First of all, I do care about speed at this spot quite a bit. I care about height at this spot as well a lot, right? I want my tight end to be a big target for me. They're about the same right here. Now let's go into the blocking. I don't use my tight end for pass blocking ever, so I don't care about that. Again, that's a me thing. He does run block sometimes, though. So let's go into run blocking, and you'll kind of see in this situation, this is where overalls can be misleading, just like things can just be weird. Run blocking between these guys, 69, 69. Run block power, 62, 60. Run block finesse, 69, 65. There's no reason in this situation to ever start Connor Fox over Blake Smith. It doesn't make sense, right? Because these are relatively the same. But if we go to the speed, again, you're going to see a massive speed difference, right? This is a 16 speed difference. This guy can outrun or keep up with the majority of the defense. This guy's the slowest player on the field catching the ball. You don't want that. You would want this in this situation. Now, ideally, your tight end could do almost everything, right? He could be a good run blocker. He could be a good pass catcher, et cetera, et cetera. I also like them to have good short route running and medium route running. I have my tight ends on a lot of post routes, a lot of corner routes. Oh, I'm sorry, a lot of drags and a lot of corners, which would be short route running and medium route running. But I will say the run block rating, in my experience, has never really played a major factor for me. Unless there is a massive mismatch at it, right? Like you're going up against a defensive end who, is just an absolute dog. Then it can play a huge factor. But the difference even between 69 run block to 80 run block, in my mind and in my experience, has just been like, who cares, right? Sometimes, players' play isn't always based on the rating. Sometimes more based around the play call, how the game actually functions with the play call, or with a certain, run type, whatever. That's just my thoughts on the tight end position. I think, again, like, even in a run-heavy offense, yeah, I think you're looking for speed here unless that other guy just gives you a massive advantage somehow. Let's talk about the offensive line in college football 25 and what ratings kind of matter, what ratings don't really matter a ton. And I'll be 100% honest with you. This is an area where I've definitely just said, let's do the best overalls at the top, and let's just hoop from there. This is a place where awareness can play more of a factor. This is totally AI controlled, CPU controlled, and whatnot. There's some stuff, though, that we can really scheme around. So the first of which is going to be if you are somebody who pulls your guards a lot, okay? If you run a lot of bases, a lot of powers, a lot of sweeps, right? Things that have pulling guards, counters, things like that. Or pulling centers, pulling tackles as well. You want those pullers to be high speed, high excel players. Because let's picture this, for example. Do we have a right guard? Yes. Perfect. Our right guard right here, imagine he's a puller. He is 57 speed and 66 excel. Imagine the difference between him and let's throw our, where was that left guard? Jackson. Yeah. Imagine the difference between this guy pulling and this guy pulling just from a pure speed difference, right? the play is going to develop much faster. It's going to hit the defense much faster and result in a higher success rate if Donovan Jackson's pulling compared to, I can't pronounce his name. I'm not going to try to. I apologize. But like, there's a massive difference right here, right? So you want faster, high excel players for those pullers. Now, the pull block, the type of block they're making, is an impact block. I don't really care too much about this rating here, but it is something to keep in mind. If it's way too low, they'll just get thrown to the ground. But as long as they're in the low 80s, you should be good, right? Um, but that's what that's going to be. The next thing I want to mention, and you won't see this too often unless maybe you're a really small school. Let's just go to something like, let's go to like Northern Illinois, see if we run into this. I don't want any offensive linemen who are like 270 or like in the 270s, right? We need to be bigger. Even like 280s, I want to kind of avoid. And I want the strength to be high. I know I've noticed a big time strength and weight plays a massive difference in the push you get. So like right here, if we scroll down, we have this guy who he's 285 and he's 77 strength on Northern Illinois. He's a freshman, so that's actually fair. But we can't play this guy, right? Even if he was high overall, those things don't play a factor in how overall really, except for strength a little bit. He just can't play. He's going to get pushed. Even if he holds his block, he's going to get pushed into the center or into the quarterback. He's going to get pushed into the running back. He's not going to gain ground at all. So strength and weight do play a big factor. And that's more so what I care about. When we get into some of the actual blocking stats, these can be finicky. It's hard to put a bunch of weight into these. Really, it's tough. I would try to optimize for the 3, right? Pass block power, pass block finesse, or run block power, run block finesse in the area that you care about more. It's tough because you don't it's not super clear on and people have done stuff with this in the past. I used to know the differences in these a little bit more in the past, but I think it's gotten muddied up over the years. So I'm just not paying a ton of attention to these stats outside of you just want them to be ideally as high as possible. If you have guys who are right around the same here and you're trying to choose between them, I would use the strength and the weight factor into it a lot more. I promise you, having somebody here who's 81 compared to 80 speed or 80 pass block power, I'm sorry, that's not gonna be why you get shedded or you don't get shedded, or same thing with the run blocking. But the strength and the weight and the speed on a puller, that stuff can make a massive, massive difference. But overall, offensive line, the better the player is, the better they're going to play for the most part, as long as they fit, kind of the speed stuff and whatever else for your individual scheme. So when it comes to defensive line, this is where things can really start to get interesting and really just depends on what you are specifically asking of your defensive lineman. Now, a lot of people are going to bring different real football things up, and some of that stuff does apply here, right? A 3 technique is different than typically what you'd look for in a 3 technique is going to be different than a 1 tech. And a nose tackle might be a little bit different might be slightly different than a 1 tech and way different than a 3 tech. I'm going to give a bunch of generalities throughout this of what I care about and what I've seen success with inside of the video game world, okay? So, let's go here into our depth chart, and let's go to our defensive line. Now, the one thing that I always pretty much will keep a major consistent with is our edge rushers. Whoever our edge rushers might be. It might be a left end. It might be a left outside linebacker. If we have linebackers on the edge, whatever they are, we want them to be fast, okay? And the reason for this is we need them to help set the edge. So right here, if Peterson's super slow, right, the quarterback's just going to outrun him to the sideline, okay? Same thing with, I cannot pronounce the name, I apologize, but same thing over here, right? We need him to be fast. Ideally, our edge guys are good pass rushers as well, but it's not 100% necessity. But I do believe whoever our edges are, they need to be fast. I also believe, for the most part, I'm going to talk about an exception to this rule here in a second. Whoever we have on the interior, we want them to be bigger guys, okay? I don't care 3 tech, 1 tech, if you're in a bear front, whatever it is, a nose tech or a nose tackle. If we have 2 guys on the inside, we want them to be big, we want them to be strong, and we want them to have high block shed, all right? Let's talk about some ratings that I care about outside of that. So, if we go here again, let's go to our defensive line. What ratings are we really looking at here? Again, edges are speed, strength. I also then care about weight. This is very similar to offensive line in this case. But If we go here, a lot of people don't have a good understanding of what block shed is. That's break set. That's not block shed. Where is block shed? There we go. Block shed is going to be how you shed blocks in the run game. Block shed is not a pass game thing at all. It is purely a run game mechanic. That is what we care about with this. High block shed means you're going to shed blocks faster. All right, low block shed, you won't. This actually makes a big difference. Right here, 86 and 73. This dude is going to be way better at stopping the run compared to this guy, as compared to this guy. So keep that in mind. That can actually be massive here, okay? Then when it comes to the difference between power move and finesse move, this starts to get into like the player traits. Different pass rush moves can be different. Bull rushes, for example, are going to be power moves. I believe rips are also going to be power moves. Finesse moves going to get more into swims and spins, I believe. I might be slightly off on that, but ideally your pass rushers or like your edge guys are going to have high in both of these. Typically, I like my D tackles to be just high in the block shed area. Defensive tackles, I also don't care that much about speed. I'm much bigger on strength for them and them just being bigger bodies because they're not going to lose as much ground in the run game. And ideally in the pass game, they're able to collapse the pocket. Now, if we go here, let's check out some block shed. This, again, is going to be how they block shed against the run. So here, this dude, Hawk, really should not be playing. He's way too low. He's not going to shed at a very high clip for us at all. Someone like Singleton, he actually will do a good job of shedding. And then he actually has okay power move as well. That's pretty good. I don't care about tackling right here. I don't care about hit power at all for my defensive line. It's if they get their hands on if my defensive linemen are getting their hands on people, they're not going to be hit. They're not going to be hit sticking them, and they should be making the tackle, or they'll be slowing them down for somebody else to make the tackle. That stuff's irrelevant in my opinion. Player rec doesn't matter here at all either. It's really just those things for our edges. Now I will say, if we can get the quick jump ability, we want that to be on our edge rushers, okay? Or anybody who's consistently rushing the passer. We want that quick jump ability there. Let's see if we have anything here. We have blow up, inside disruptor, outside disruptor. So someone like Bacon actually should be playing on the edge. So, in this case, let's say he might replace, whoops, he's already starting at our outside backer. But, if he wasn't, he might be a better edge player. You want to make sure this guy gets on the field just due to those abilities because do a good job against the run and pass game. So talking about linebackers, this is where things just get hard because like linebackers for different teams just mean different things. For our purpose, we're going to split this into two things. Well, first of all, it's going to be guys who are in the second level and not rushing the passer, but then also our user defender, okay? So for our user defender, we can either have a linebacker at this spot, or you'll actually see something called the sub linebacker, which you could sub in a safety. I don't care which you do, but at that linebacker spot, which will, if you were to do this, right? Let's say we put more here at the sub linebacker, and then we go to something like nickel over, and we go up against a random offense. You'll see more is going to show up right here. He's our sub linebacker. This will only take effect in nickel and dime sets. For our sub linebacker, for our user, what we want here is somebody who is fast and tall. Simple as that. Like, I don't care about any of the other ratings because we are usering that player, right? So awareness doesn't matter, right? Ideally, if they can have high tackling, that's going to help. High hit power, that'll help as well. High, acceleration, COD, that'll help. But the two big things, speed and height. Because the difference in using somebody who is 87 speed, like Deontay Lawson, and somebody who is 79 speed, like Tavion Bennett, is that this guy can keep up with most tight ends and be able to, cut off and, kind of keep pace with some wide receivers. This guy is an actual liability on the field as our user. So that's the big thing. It's the only thing I care about with the user spot. Now, for everybody else who's not rushing the passer, but who's still a linebacker for us, what we want here is I want speed. Okay, we have to have speed because these guys are going to be dropping into coverage. They might still be helping on the edges in the run game. They're flowing to the ball in the run game. So speed at the linebacker spot is massive. We want guys who can really get after it. So again, using Tavion Bennett here, it's hard to make the argument for him to ever play just because he's going to be slower than every halfback. He's slower than most tight ends. He's slower than every wide receiver. So even if he's trying to chase somebody down and he had every other stat that was perfect, it wouldn't matter, right? Even if he was a 90 overall, but he had that 80 speed, that 79 speed, Who cares? He's just not very good. Whereas we see something like this, we have two guys, same overall. We have the speed difference here is massive. And this is going to allow Quindarius Robinson to actually make plays in the run game and in the pass game. Whereas Rasal he's just not going to be as fast. Now, I'll tell you something that goes into this a little bit more, which is zone coverage. Linebackers and man coverage, a little bit more hit or miss. You'd want speed there. But in zone coverage, you do want to optimize for this a little bit because a lot of times your linebackers are just dropping in a zone, right? And this will actually have them play their zones a little bit better, react faster, et cetera, et cetera. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Now, right here, going back to the this is a linebacker section, but talk about pass rushing really fast. Cott right here, 84 overall. He has platinum quick jump. That's one of those abilities, quick jump, where if you get this guy has to be a pass rusher. I don't care about anything else. He's 232, I know, but that ability is so good. You want him rushing the passer. So there's another thing to keep in mind. You don't want to use this ability in coverage. That'd be a bad use of it. So just throwing that out there as well. But really, really simple, I feel like, for the linebackers. You want guys who are fast, tall. Ideally, they have good stats around that, but especially the user, fast and tall. So defensive backs is where things can get kind of weird sometimes. It really depends on what you're asking of them. Let me give you an example of that for a second. If we scroll down here, we're on Southern Mississippi's team, and if we go find this strong safety, Dylan Lawrence, he's 90 speed, which is actually okay, but he's 6'4". So let me paint a scenario for you. Let's pretend he was 85 speed. You'd probably say, like, dude, he's not that fast. It's hard for him to play on the field. But imagine he was that, and you only ever asked him to play flat zones and other underneath zones. Okay, never man-to-man, never a deep zone. He's only playing underneath. In that case, that height of being 6'4" actually does, that's fine, of making up for the speed, because he doesn't need the speed so much to play underneath like that, does he? No, but the height is going to give him a lot more range in his actual zone area, which he can already defend with or without the higher speed, okay? So that's where, that's an example of what you're asking of them plays a huge factor. Another example of it would be, let's say we have this slot corner right here. Wildrecus Johnson? Cool. Nice. Actually, Wildrecus. I don't think I've ever seen that name before. Nice. 92 speed. He's fast, but he's low overall, low awareness. And then probably low zone and man coverage too, I'd assume. Probably bad tackling, all that stuff. No hit power, no tackling. Zone coverage bad, man coverage bad. Right? It's like, you wouldn't want to play this guy. But what if you're only blitzing him? Right? What if you always blitz your slot corner? 92 speed, he might be the best option for that on this team, actually. Right? Because blitzing slot corner, you just want that bad boy to get home as fast as possible. So that's an example of it. Some general guidelines is that if we are going to be running man coverage, we need fast players and we need good man coverage rating, okay? If our players are in deep zones and we're going to be pressing them, they need to be fast, all right? If our players are in zone coverage at all, we want higher zone, okay? It actually gets a little bit simpler once you just identify what are they in, what are you asking of them, and then just going about that, all right? So again, someone like Braxton Myers, he has quick jump, which is just not relevant on him. But he's going to be one of our best DBs to actually press in man coverage. And let's actually see, what is his man coverage rating? Or he might not be able to play much man, but let's see. 72, so it's not great, but it is one of the better ones on the team. We're at 78 right here. Okay, this guy might be better at man coverage. What is his speed? 89. So actually, if I'm running a lot of man coverage, this dude actually wins in this case. McNeil does, even though he's a step slower, right? Now, something that people get confused all the time with man coverage specifically is the press rating. Press only matters in man coverage when you are literally running a shaded underneath style of man coverage where you're getting hands on the wide receiver. If you're not doing that, press does not matter. But if you are, press then matters a ton. Whereas now, Caraway Jr. actually plays, he's a better press man corner. Overall, though, this team, probably you shouldn't run man coverage with. But you kind of see what I'm saying here where you're optimizing for different things. And the same idea goes for your safeties. What are you asking of them, right? Let's say your strong safety is always in a deep middle blue. Well, you need someone who's super fast right here, right? You need a fast, strong safety because that deep middle blue is responsible for a lot of things along with high zone. Your strong safety is always in a flat. Well, he doesn't need to be fast then. Or I'm sorry, your free safety is always in a flat. He doesn't need to be fast then. 86 speed's fine. You might just want someone taller, which like right here, Damian Miller, 6'3", he's my starter now, right? He's gonna be a little bit taller. He's gonna have more range, okay? So identify what you're asking of your DBs, and then you can optimize for that. If you're running a bunch of random stuff, or just like you don't have much rhyme or reason, then in that case, I would optimize for best player and speed, just trying to find the best combination of that. For the most part, though, between sub linebackers and the amount of DBs you have on the field, typically you'll have 6 or so DB. You'll for the most part have 5 DBs on the field. For the most part, you could have more, especially with sub linebackers. You should be able to get your best DBs onto the field somewhere, right? If this guy can't make it at corner, you might just sub him in at free safety. Now, a cool thing you also can do, and Texas, people do this with Texas all the time, is like this dude right here, Javion Cole. We might say, whatever, actually. Let's just get Isaiah Bond here. Because now with Isaiah Bond, we can do whatever we want. He's 98 speed. He's a 76 overall, mind you, which is good. I have no idea what his zone is, but just that speed is such a difference maker where, we can just use him. And he does have bad zone coverage, but that speed outweighs everything else, in my opinion, when it's so drastic because he's able to do whatever we ask of him. So abilities are another one that play kind of a big factor in just building your depth chart and whatnot. So I do want to just mention this as well. When it comes to abilities, there's a few that I really care about quite a bit that give players a huge edge over other ones. The first one of that I want to really mention is going to be where is this bad boy? Where is it? There's so many, by the way. There's so many. Inside disruptor, outside disruptor, and option disruptor can be really, really good for especially for interior and just anybody on the defensive line against runs. Really, bronze is going to be a minor difference. Silver will be a somewhat difference. Gold and platinums, we're really going to start feeling these abilities happen at. So just keep that in mind right there with all of these different disruptors. The one I want to mention, though, easily is Ball Hawk. This is going to be a massive one for defensive backs. If you have anybody with Ball Hawk, they need to play on your field somewhere. It's going to be improved reaction time to when the ball is thrown, meaning they're going to play things better and react faster to passes than players without this. This is an absolute huge one. Then we get quick jump, which is another massive one for pass rushing. And this is just going to be a quicker jump off the snap when pass rushing. So if you have somebody with quick jump, Bama has like a few crappy players, or not crappy, but like guys who are backups who have platinum quick jump. So is Texas. You want them on your field. Okay. Takeoff. This is really, really big for wide receivers because it's going to get a better release off the line of scrimmage. So that's just another one that's going to play a big factor. Some of these you have to kind of mess with and just see which are your favorites, but those are and like which really apply to how you play your game. But just a quick rundown of that abilities and these badges do make a difference in the game. And part of it is just on you to construct your lineup a little bit to optimize some of these. If you made it to the end of this, if you got value, make sure you check out my website, civil.gg. It is absolutely the place you want to be if you want to win more games in College 125. You use code CIVIL30, get a cool 30% off. There's complete guides on offense and defense, a lot of different tips there, and you'll be joining over 1,000 players who 96% of them say they've won more games since joining. Again, link to that top of the description.